And good evening, everybody. This is Terry Smith along with Tom Hamilton. We're glad to be with you on this Monday night for Clippers baseball as the Clippers take on the Scranton Wilkes-Barre Red Barons in the opening game of a 9-game homestand. And Tom, the big story tonight is Deion Sanders. It's ironic he's gotten into a lot of trouble here at home. At least the fans are a little bit upset with him yesterday in Richmond, but he's in the lineup despite a court hearing this afternoon in Richmond, Virginia.
Well, of course, Deion said that the fans in Columbus were the stupidest fans in America, and right now I think he figures the fans in Richmond are even worse, Terry. Got into that altercation with some fans after yesterday's game, but basically, as you mentioned with Bucky down earlier, he is innocent until proven guilty, and so he'll be leading off playing in center field tonight. But, Terry, he continues to make news on and off the field.
Well, he certainly does, and for those of you who are watching back at home, this is one of our Monday night cable simulcasts on WBNS Radio and also your local cable operator. If you are viewing tonight on the Warner cable system, we are on Channel 1, on Coaxial Cable Channel 36, on All-American Cablevision Channel 10, and on Telemedia Channel 10. Well, we'll be coming back with the starting lineups and the start of tonight's action here from Cooper Stadium right after these important messages. Welcome back, everybody, to Cooper Stadium. Terry Smith along with Tom Hamilton getting ready for Clippers baseball action here this evening as the Clippers take on the Scranton Wilkes-Barre Red Barons. And here are the starting lineups for tonight's action. First up, for the visiting Scranton Wilkes-Barre Red Barons tonight, leading things off will be their second baseman, Tommy Barrett. Batting second, playing short, Greg Legg. Eric Bullock will be the left fielder for Scranton Wilkes-Barre tonight, and Bullock will be the number 3 batter in their lineup. Steve Stanisiek will be the designated hitter batting cleanup. Mark Ryle in right field will bat number 5. Jim Adducci will be the first baseman hitting 6th. Keith Miller in center field bats 7th. Joe Redfield is the third baseman batting 8th. And behind the plate doing the catching and batting 9th, Tom Nieto, as the Scranton Wilkes-Barre Red Barons take a team batting average of 249 into tonight's ball game, and they are last in the International League in home runs. As a team, they have hit only 52 homers this season. In fact, the Clippers come into this ball game having hit 33 more home runs this year than the Scranton Wilkes-Barre Red Barons. As far as the Clippers starting lineup this evening here at Cooper Stadium, leading things off will be the center fielder Deion Sanders. Batting second in left field, Marcus Lawton. Oscar Azekar will be the designated hitter, batting number 3 for the Clippers. Hitting fourth and doing the catching will be Brian Dorsett. Dave Griffin plays first base tonight for the club, and Griffin will be batting number 5. Steve Kiefer at third base will be batting number 6 tonight. John Fischel plays right field and bats 7th. Tim Becker will be the shortstop batting 8th. And Scott Earl at second base will be batting number 9. The Clippers come in with a team batting average of 262, and that ranks number 1 in the IL. The Clippers with 85 home runs this season, tops in the International League. As far as the pitching matchup tonight, Jimmy Jones on the hill for the Clippers, a 5-5 record. Tonight will be his 16th start. He's completed 3 of 15, has an earned run average of 4.00. And pitching for the Red Barons this evening will be Mike Maddox, also with a 5-5 record, an ERA of 3.87. This will be his 14th game, his 13th start, and he's completed 1 of 12. We're just about ready for the start of tonight's action, and to lead things off for Scranton Wilkes-Barre will be their second baseman, Tommy Barrett. Switch hitter, and the first pitch to get the ball game underway, and that one misses high for ball. The count 1 ball, no strikes. Here at game time tonight, unseasonably cool weather, 65 degrees, hard to believe. 1-0 delivery. And that one is a breaking pitch outside for a ball. The count 2 balls, no strikes. In fact, it's interesting to note the home plate umpire Angel Hernandez has the sport coat on this evening. The other 2 umpires, Terry Kraft at first base and Rich Rieker, the third base umpire, are each wearing sweaters this evening. So it is a bit on the chilly side, and the temperature is expected to drop into the low 50s or upper 40s by night's end. Here's the 2-1 pitch. It's outside. It's now 3 balls and 1 strike on Tommy Barrett. Barrett comes in with a 5-game hitting streak. And he's a guy who likes to get on base, Tommy Barrett. Takes a pitch on the inside corner there as he jumped away from that one. And the count goes full. It's now 3-2. Barrett comes in with 30 stolen bases. And he ranks second in the IL in that department. The pitch pops one up on the left side. Marcus Lawton will have a play, and right near the line in shallow left field, he makes the catch on that one to retire Tommy Barrett. And that's the first out in tonight's ball game.
Number 11, Greg Legg.
Greg Legg gets ready to step to the plate. The shortstop, Greg Legg, is batting .245, 2 homers, and 26 runs batted in. Jones ready. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That's on the outside corner for a called strike. The count 0-1. Jimmy Jones' last outing was last Thursday, and he was struck on the right thumb by a vicious line drive back to the mound in a ball game at Tidewater. He was forced to leave that ball game with 1 out in the 5th inning. And that was the game the Clippers eventually lost 3-1, and Jones was the losing pitcher. He made something like 71 pitches in that ball game, so pitching on 3 days rest here tonight shouldn't be all that difficult. 2-strike delivery. That one missed outside, and the count 1 ball, 2 strikes. We'll be keeping you posted throughout the night on the Richmond Braves. They are leading the IL West by a half game on Tidewater and 2 full games in front of the Clippers. And Richmond playing a doubleheader tonight at home, and they're in the 6th inning in game 1 against Toledo, and it's 1-1. Clippers entering play 6 games over 500, 2 games out of first, a game and a half out of second. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That missed outside, and the count even. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes. Pretty good breeze blowing tonight from left to right. It might aid some of the left-handed hitters who pull the ball down the right side, or some of the right-handed batters who go the opposite way. 2-2 delivery. Ball bounced over the plate out towards short. Charging it is Becker. His throw to first is in time, and that will be the 2nd out. Tim Becker, who struggled defensively yesterday, committing 3 errors in the final game of that Richmond series. Becker, I'm sure, happy that he handles his first one there with no trouble at all. And Tim Becker might have a few butterflies tonight. This is his first ball game at Cooper Stadium, and getting a chance to play on the AstroTurf here tonight. Eric Bullock will bat for the Scranton Wilkes-Barre Red Barons, their left fielder. He's hitting .286, has 1 homer, 32 runs batted in. Ready is Jones. Here's the pitch. That one misses high, and the count 1 ball, no strikes. Bullock swaying that bat. The 1-0 delivery. And that one misses high. It pops off the mid of catcher Brian Dorsett. 2 balls, no strikes. As will often happen in the AAA Alliance, these 2 clubs were traveling partners today, both hooked up in Pittsburgh, and we're on the same flight from Pittsburgh to Columbus this morning. 2-0 delivery. That's a breaking ball that misses, and the count 3-0. .30 pitch. In there for a called strike on Eric Bullock, and the count 3-1. Steve Stanisiek, the designated hitter for Scranton Wilkes-Barre, waits on deck. Ground ball bounced to third, fielded cleanly by Kiefer. The throw in plenty of time to Dave Griffin, and a strong first inning for Jimmy Jones as he sets down the Red Barons in order. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on. Half inning completed. It is Scranton Wilkes-Barre. The Clippers coming to bat, and you're enjoying Clippers baseball on WBNS Radio and your local cable operator. Fans, don't forget, tomorrow night it's the return of the world-famous chicken here at Cooper Stadium. Game time 7:30. The gates will open tomorrow night at 6:15. It's the only appearance of the Chicken at the stadium this summer. And you'll want to bring out the whole family for a very enjoyable and entertaining night of baseball. The Clippers against Scranton Wilkes-Barre and the Chicken on hand. Now Deion Sanders gets ready to step to the plate, although it's not one of the warmer welcomes a hometown player will receive. It's a lot warmer than the welcome he got in his 4 at-bats yesterday in Richmond. Here's the first pitch by Mike Maddox, and it's swung on and missed. The count 0-1.
I noticed, though, a number of fans, Terry, are wearing boxing gloves here tonight in the stands.
2 balls and 1 strike to count. Maddox eyes the target. There's the pitch on Deion, and that one misses high. The count 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, you and I were talking before the ball game. You said the fans in Richmond were really on him. Huh?
That was by far the worst fans have gotten on Sanders anywhere, including here at Cooper Stadium. They were on him that Sunday after that article appeared in the Dispatch, but nothing like yesterday in Richmond. Here's a ball that's hit to the first baseman, and Aducci's flipped to Maddox, and he didn't get to the bag in time, and Deion was flying up that first base side and has an infield single. You got to think that's how they'll score it.
Well, there's an example of what Deion Sanders can do, because every time he hits the ball on the ground, he has a chance to beat it out. And as you mentioned, Aducci simply was late in getting the toss to Maddox, and Maddox did not get off the mound very quickly either. And Deion Sanders really turned it on and hustling down the line. Watch the speed of Deion Sanders here. A bang-bang play at first, and maybe the Clippers got a break.
Photo finish over there at first base. They say the tie goes to the runner, so Sanders called safe. And don't be surprised if he's running. Deion with 12 stolen bases in 15 tries. And a toss by Maddox over to first, and Sanders back safely. Deion Sanders had a court appearance today in District Court in Richmond, Virginia, right around 9 a.m. It lasted for only about 5 minutes. He was bluffing as if to go. The pitch is low for a ball. The count 1 ball and no strikes on switch hitting Marcus Lawton. The only thing that was really decided this morning in court in Richmond was that Deion Sanders will have a court hearing a week from this Thursday on August the 17th at 9:30 in the morning in Richmond District Court. Now the Clippers will be on the road on the 17th of August at Scranton Wilkes-Barre, and whether or not Deion will have to appear at that hearing in Richmond in person or just represented by legal counsel remains to be seen. Here's a pitch. It's a little bit low. The count 2 balls and no strikes.
Well, if there's anything that we have learned from the Pete Rose saga, it is that the Deion Sanders situation probably will not be resolved all that quickly unless somebody drops the charges and they settle out of court.
Deion was involved in an altercation in Florida around Christmas time at a department store. Here's the pitch. He's running. It swung on and missed. Throw to second, and safe at second base. A stolen base for Deion Sanders, his 13th of the season. So Deion off and running. He had 3 stolen bases in a ball game against Tidewater on the recent road trip. So Sanders legging at the infield hit and now stealing a base. And there you see the replay if you're watching at home tonight on cable TV. And Deion indeed was there before the tag by Greg Legg, the shortstop. 2-1 pitch. Marcus takes it outside for a called strike, and the count even. It's 2-2.
And if Maddox forgets about Sanders, he'll steal third as well. The way the Clipper offense is going, Deion Sanders may have to manufacture this run all by himself.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Here comes the pitch, and a swing and a miss. He got him, struck him out. Marcus Lawton going down on a nasty breaking ball. So the next man up for the Clippers will be Oscar Azucar, the designated hitter. He brings a 4-game hitting streak into the action. Azucar playing his 10th game since joining the Clippers.
Oscar Azucar.
Azucar has played here at Cooper Stadium. He was with the club during the last homestand, appeared in 2 games against Pawtucket, a couple against Indianapolis here at home. Left-handed hitter, batting .258 with the Clippers. No homers, 2 runs batted in. The pitch, and Oscar swings and misses that one. He was way in front of that first offering from Mike Maddox. The count 0-1.
Maddox has an outstanding changeup. It's interesting, though, the sun is beaming through parts of this stadium, and the pitcher's mound is in partial sunlight. Maddox is actually having some trouble sometimes picking up the throw back from the catcher, Tom Nieto.
It's a pickoff toss to second. Sanders back standing up safely.
Well, you hit a rocket back to the mound, and right now it might be very difficult for the pitcher to defend himself.
No balls and 1 strike to count. We're in the bottom of the first inning, no score. Clippers taking on Scranton Wilkes-Barre. There's a swing and a miss by Oscar, and the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Bucky Dent coaching at third base. It's been a long day for Bucky. Really didn't get much sleep overnight. Bucky remained in Richmond this morning with Deion Sanders. Those two staying back for that court hearing in Richmond this morning. 0-2 pitch. It's tipped foul right near the plate, and the count holding it, no balls, 2 strikes.
And, of course, a number of the local media here tonight beforehand to talk to Bucky Dent about the Deion Sanders case. See some faces we don't normally see out here. I guess the folks here in the front office, Terry, hounded by the Florida media today, wondering what was going on.
There's a toss again to second base, and Sanders is back safely. Breeze blowing from left to right, and a pretty stiff breeze at the moment. 2 strikes to pitch. That one missed outside on Azekar. It's now 1 ball, 2 strikes. It'll be interesting to see how this homestand develops, because the Clippers have had some problems with this umpiring crew, especially the guy calling balls and strikes, Angel Hernandez. There's a swing and a miss, and Azekar was fooled badly by that off-speed breaking stuff, and back-to-back strikeouts now by Mike Maddox.
And Maddox made the 2 left-handed hitters look very bad at the plate, getting them on, as Terry mentioned, breaking balls, and both of those breaking balls were out of the strike zone. But neither Lawton nor Azekar could check their swing. And those left-handed hitters are the guys that you would think would have some success against the veteran Mike Maddox.
So here's Brian Dorsett, who leads the IL in home runs with 14. The pitch on the Clippers cleanup batter, grounded foul over on the left side, and the count, no balls and 1 strike. In his 2 appearances coming into tonight's ball game against the Clippers, Maddox with a 1-0 record. And in 10 innings against the Clippers prior to tonight's ball game, he had walked only 1 and struck out 12 in those 10 innings. And he already has 2 strikeouts here in the first inning this evening.
I know you and Bucky talked about it, Terry, but this is a critical homestand for the Clippers. It's really their last homestand of any quantity.
There goes Deion. The ball's lined into center field, but right at Keith Miller, and he reaches up and puts it away, and that will end the inning. Sanders was running on that pitch. Dorsett gave it a pretty good ride. He hit it sharply, but right at Keith Miller, the center fielder. That's it for the Clippers here in the bottom of the first inning. No runs, 1 hit in the inning, no errors, and the Clippers will leave 1 runner on base. We get ready to move to the second. As we head there, there's no score at Cooper Stadium, and you're enjoying Clippers baseball on WBNS Radio and your local cable operator.
After a hard...
We move to the second inning, and for the Red Barons, they'll send to the plate the middle third of the order: Steve Stanisic, Mark Ryle, and Jim Aducci against right-hander Jimmy Jones. Jimmy Jones coming into tonight's ball game. In his last 2 starts, he has struggled, an 0-2 record, an ERA of 5.56. Jones in those 2 starts going 11 1/3 innings, allowing 7 earned runs. First pitch on its way. That's in there for a called strike. Inside part of the plate on Stanisic. The count, 0-1. He's having a pretty solid season for Scranton Wilkes-Barre, batting .288, 6 home runs and 38 runs batted in. That one's in there as well. It's no balls and 2 strikes. Stanisic does not have enough at-bats to qualify for the top 10 in batting in the IL. If he had enough official plate appearances, he would rank number 8 in the league in hitting. 1-2 pitch. That's a fastball up and in. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count even. Jones normally a quick worker. He gets the sign from Brian Dorsett. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Ball grounded foul over near his batter waiting on deck, Mark Ryle, and the count 2 balls and 2 strikes on Steve Stanisic. Stanisic batting .333 against the Clippers this year. 2-2 pitch. Ball that he is going to drop into right center field for a base hit. Hit it off the end of the bat, and it finds a spot in front of Sanders in shallow right center field. So Stanisic is on with a leadoff base hit going the opposite way, and Mark Ryle gets ready to bat. Ryle, a guy who has really been hitting the ball of late. Last 25 ball games, Mark Ryle batting .329. Here comes the pitch, and it's swung on and missed. No balls and 1 strike. Ryle, a fellow who signed with the Phillies organization as a minor league free agent. He was with Louisville a year ago, has played in the big leagues with the Royals, White Sox, and Angels. Former teammate of Darryl Miller's. That one's fouled off on the left side, upstairs and out of play. It's no balls and 2 strikes on Mark Ryle. Ryle, a fellow who was the leading pinch hitter for the California Angels back in the '87 season, hit .323 that year as a pinch hitter. Had a couple of pinch hit home runs, including a grand slam. Fouls that one back as well. The count, no balls, 2 strikes. Jimmy Jones way in front. The count 0-2 on Mark Ryle. Here comes the pitch. That's a fastball that missed inside. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Ryle has spent some time this year up in the big leagues with the parent Philadelphia Phillies. He was called up when the Phillies had some injury problems in the outfield. 1-2 delivery. Hit sharply into right center field. Fischel chasing hard, and the ball gets by him. It takes a hop off the wall. The lead runner, Stanisic, played it cautiously, so he'll only get to third base. And it's second base with a double. One hopper that hit the wall is Mark Ryle. Now, Fischel gave it a pretty good effort. It was just out of his reach, and now Jones in some second inning hot water with runners at second and third and nobody out. Jim Adducci getting ready to bat.
And Adducci is a guy that has hurt the Clippers this year with a couple of home runs. Has played in the major leagues with the Milwaukee Brewers. Guy that's always been an outstanding hitter average-wise. Never was able to get enough playing time in Milwaukee to make his mark on the major league level.
Adducci, a left-handed batter, comes into the ball game hitting .254. Here's the pitch, and he chops it on the right side of the infield. Jones will field, and they're going to get a run on this one. Is coming in from third base will be Stanisic. It's an unassisted putout for the pitcher, Jimmy Jones. Adducci will get a run batted in on it, and moving to third is Mark Ryle with 1 out. It's 1-0 in favor of Scranton Wilkes-Barre.
Number 15, the center fielder, Keith Miller.
Keith Miller gets ready to bat. So the Red Barons on the scoreboard first. And here you see the ball that was hit sharply into right center field, just out of the reach of John Fischel. That double by Mark Ryle. Ryle now at third, and the pitch on its way. That one's in there on the switch hitting Keith Miller for a called strike. It's 0-1. Miller is batting .264, has 9 homers, 46 runs batted in. He represented Scranton in the AAA All-Star game and swings and misses that pitch to count. No balls and 2 strikes. Keith Miller leading his club in home runs with 9. He's also their RBI leader with 46. 2 strikes the pitch. That one misses low. And the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. A couple years ago, this Keith Miller played the infield in the Phillies organization when their AAA club was in Maine. Now they have him playing in the outfield. And he takes that one outside for a ball. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Miller has struck out a lot, 84 times this year. And Jimmy Jones could use a strikeout with the infield drawn in. The 2-2 pitch. Got him. Swung on and missed. Gave him a nasty breaking ball. He struck him out. Big strikeout there with the runner at third. That's the 2nd out in the inning. And Joe Redfield, the 3rd baseman, steps to the plate. The 8-hole hitter who's hitting .232. Redfield struggling of late, batting only .123 in his last 18 ball games. So Jimmy Jones facing a fella right here who he figures to get. From the stretch, here's the pitch. Redfield takes the slider on the outside corner for a called strike. It's 0-1. Redfield has hit well against the Clippers this year. Driven in 4 runs against the club, batting .304 against Clippers pitching. 1 strike delivery, and there's a line drive RBI base hit into left field. A 2-out RBI single by Redfield, who keeps up his hot hitting against the Clippers.
Batting 9.
And another case where the Clippers give up a 2-out run that has plagued the club all season long. It's 2-0 in favor of Scranton Wilkes-Barre.
And Joe Redfield, even though he's had a miserable streak the last 18 ball games, has now collected 4 straight base hits. He had 3 hits in yesterday's ball game, his last 3 times up, and he continues with a clutch 2-out hit here after Jimmy Jones had got the big strikeout.
And the next batter up is Tom Nieto, and he takes a pitch inside for a ball. It's 1-0.
Just seems like, Terry, in this streak of the Clippers, they can't get that 3rd out when they've got a pitcher like a Jimmy Jones on the mound. He got that 2nd out that looks so big. Then he gives up the 2-out hit to a guy not hitting much. The errors always seem to kill them.
There goes the runner. The pitch is strike. Dorsett's throw to second. Not in time. It's a stolen base. On the receiving end of that throw is his 2nd baseman, Scott Earl, and Redfield has his 13th stolen base of the season.
People might say, well, yeah, errors always do hurt you, but some teams can dodge a bullet. But it seems like when the Clippers commit an error, it'll cost them a ball game so many times. And right now, with the offense struggling the way it is, they've got to do all the little things right in order to turn this thing around. They need good pitching, solid defense, and they've got to make the little plays, and they haven't done it.
There's a breaking ball on the inside corner for a called strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Tom Nieto, hitting only .195. He was up with the Phillies earlier this year, backup catcher. Well, in yesterday's ball game, the blowout in Richmond, the Richmond Braves had that big 6-run first inning after the Clippers had scored 2 in the first, and 5 of those 6 Richmond runs came with 2 outs in the first inning. Pitch was outside to count. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And if you're viewing at home, you see the replay of the stolen base by Redfield. He's the runner at second with 2 outs. And now Jones has to hold up as Nieto asks for time from home plate umpire Angel Hernandez. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Couple runs in here in the second. It's 2-0 Scranton, Wilkes-Barre leading. The pitch. That's outside, and the count goes full. It's 3-2. Control has not been a major problem for Jimmy Jones with the Clippers this year. He's walked only 22 batters in 15 starts. But it's full here on Nieto, the 9-hole hitter. With 2 outs, the payoff pitch. He bounces one on the right side, fielded by Jimmy Jones. He'll flip to Dave Griffin for the easy out, and the inning is over. But the Red Barons come away with a 2-spot here in the second inning on 3 hits. In the inning, no errors, and they leave 1 on. We head to the bottom of the second. It is Scranton Wilkes-Barre 2, the Clippers no score, and you're enjoying Clippers baseball on WBNS Radio and your local cable operator.
What will life be like in the 20?
Back at Cooper Stadium, we go to the bottom of the second inning, 2-0 in favor of Scranton Wilkes-Barre. The Clippers here in the second inning will send to the plate Dave Griffin, Steve Kiefer, and John Fischel.
Leading off the Clippers' second inning.
Clippers right now in a stretch of
39, Dave Griffin.
9 straight games here at home, and 12 of the next 15 ball games will be right here at Cooper Stadium. So this is the point in the schedule where the Clippers have to really generate some victories, because in the final couple weeks of the season, the schedule, at least as far as home games and road games, really favors Richmond and Tidewater. The Tidewater Tides play 9 of their last 12 games at home. Richmond plays 8 of its last 10 at home, while the Clippers play 11 of the last 13 on the road. Here's a pitch that is swung on and missed, and the count, no balls and 2 strikes on Dave Griffin.
Really, Terry, the Clippers are fortunate, as poorly as they have played, losing 13 of their last 20, that they're just 2 ball games out.
2-strike delivery. That one misses on Griffin, and the count 1 ball, 2 strikes.
And I guess, too, we should reiterate, when you have 6 ball players from your club now playing with the New York Yankees and 1 playing with the San Diego Padres, it's no wonder you're struggling. 7 guys in the majors, not many clubs can lose that and stay competitive.
There's a 1-2 pitch right down the chute, and Griffin is called out on strikes, and he knew it. And it is already the 3rd strikeout for Mike Maddox. He has struck out 3 of the 5 batters that he's faced to get this game underway, and Steve Kiefer is the hitter.
Time right now is 8:08. This timely reminder brought to you by Doctors Hospital, your special family hospital, where there really is a difference.
And the first pitch on Kiefer is inside for ball 1. The count 1 ball, no strikes. First tonight, one of our Monday night cable simulcasts on WBNS Radio and your local cable operator. And this is our next to last Monday night cable simulcast. We'll be back with you next Monday night, August the 14th, for our final simulcast. 1-1 delivery, a ball that's popped into right center field. Coming in hard is Miller, and he makes a fine shoestring grab. That was a snow cone out there as he just held on for the second out. Nice running catch by Keith Miller as he retires Steve Kiefer, and John Fischel will bat.
Number 21, the right fielder, John Fischel.
We have some games going on in the major leagues right now, and one has been completed, a day game at the Sky Dome. Again, a crowd of close to 49,000. I guess nobody works in Toronto on Monday afternoons. And the Blue Jays beat the Texas Rangers today, 2-1. 5 hits for each ball club in that ball game.
John Fischel at the plate. Fischel hitting .215 and swings and misses that first pitch. The count on him is 0-1.
That means Toronto right now 2.5 games behind Baltimore. Going on at Tiger Stadium, the first of a doubleheader. Detroit leads Milwaukee 5-3 in the 9th.
That pitch on Fischel misses for a ball. The count 1 ball, 1 strike. Fish coming into the ball game 1 for his last 19. And there, if you're watching, you see the replay of that fine shoestring grab by Keith Miller to retire Steve Kiefer for the second out in the inning. Pitch is low. It's 2 balls, 1 strike.
At Yankee Stadium, New York on top of Cleveland, 1-0. They're in the bottom of the second inning. Bales against Cataray.
There's Fischel swinging and missing that pitch. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Minnesota leads Baltimore 1-0 after 1. Cal Ripken Jr. ejected in the first inning for arguing balls and strikes. Later tonight, Boston at Kansas City. Oakland is at Seattle.
2 outs, 2 balls and 2 strikes on John Fischel. Tim Becker would be up next if the Clippers keep the second alive. 2-0 in favor of the Red Barons. The pitch, and Fischel grounds it foul right over the Scranton dugout there. First row. Gentleman wearing a light blue sweatshirt gets a souvenir baseball. And he has it on display for those of you watching at home. The 2-2 pitch. Fischel swings and misses, got him on a curve, and that will end the inning. So Mike Maddox making it look easy, at least in the first couple innings. He's struck out 4 batters here in the first 2 innings of work and has set down the last 6 in a row. No runs or hits, no errors, and nobody left on. We head to the 3rd inning. It's 2-0 Scranton Wilkes-Barre leading, and you're enjoying Clippers baseball on WBNS Radio and your local cable operator. We get ready to move to the 3rd inning, and to start it off for the Red Barons, it'll be the top of the order, Tommy Barrett, who flied out to Marcus Lawton his first time up. Barrett, the former Clipper. And we saw his brother Marty in the last homestand, ironically. He was on rehab with Pawtucket. Since been called up. Ellis Burks also rejoining the Boston Red Sox. He was with Pawtucket on the last homestand on injury rehab, and saw Burks hit a home run yesterday for the Boston Red Sox. 1 ball, 1 strike on Tommy Barrett. The pitch. That's on the inside corner, and it's now 1-2.
National League, Mets and Phillies scoreless in the second. Frank Viola on the mound for New York. St. Louis leads Pittsburgh 2-0. That's after 1.
That pitch is low and inside. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes on Tommy Barrett.
Rest of the National League games yet to get underway. Richmond and Toledo, they're playing a doubleheader. Extra innings in game 1, 1-1 in the 8th.
There's one grounded on the first base side, just foul across the line, and the count holding at 2-2.
Richmond with a 2-game lead on the Clippers. Tidewater, which is in second place, a half game behind Richmond, is scoreless with Oklahoma City. That is through 1 inning of play. Seems strange, Terry, that Tidewater is still playing some of the ball clubs in the American Association.
Right, they have a number of games remaining with Indianapolis, the leader in that American Association East Division. In fact, they have to play Indianapolis 5 times. They haven't played them at all this year. They have 3 games at Indy and then 2 at home against Indianapolis. Lazy fly ball hit to left center field. Deion Sanders there in medium left center to put it away. Barrett is retired in the air for the 2nd time in the ball game. There's 1 gone here in the 3rd, and the shortstop Greg Legg steps to the plate.
That could be a killer for Tidewater unless they can fare much better than everybody else has, because Indianapolis, with the best record in the AAA Alliance, 25 games over 500.
Pitch to the plate. That one misses low. The count 1 ball, no strikes. The Tides, of course, playing Oklahoma City now. They'll play Louisville, Indianapolis, Nashville. Still have some games remaining at home against Denver. And the Richmond Braves still have some ball games left against Indianapolis. They have 2 more ball games left against them. Here's one grounded on the right side. It's off the glove of Scott Earl, going to his left, and should be a hit on that right side of the infield, and that's how they'll score it, as Greg Legg is on with a 1-out single. That is the 4th hit given up by Jimmy Jones, and with 1 out and 1 on, it brings up Eric Bullock. Clippers have 2 more double headers remaining, and one of those double headers is in this homestand. It'll be here on Wednesday night. The other one will be later on the 24th of August at Rochester. The Tides have no more doubleheaders remaining. Of course, they could have some games postponed down the stretch that they'd have to make up as doubleheaders, but right now none are scheduled. But the Richmond Braves, they have 5 doubleheaders remaining, and of course they're playing a doubleheader tonight, and we already can tell you they're in the 9th inning of that first ball game against Toledo, and it's 1-1. Here's the pitch. That one's fouled off on the left side, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Clippers played 3 games in about a 24-hour period in Richmond, and now the Braves have a doubleheader tonight. And the Richmond Braves will have a doubleheader again tomorrow night against Toledo. So that can take its toll on a pitching staff. 1-1 pitch. Ball popped up on the left side. The third baseman, Steve Kiefer, in fair ground, shallow left, makes the catch on that one. They almost didn't get back far enough on it, and that is the second out.
Anything but a routine play for third baseman Steve Kiefer. And the Clippers and Kiefer very fortunate that that ball didn't drop behind him for a base hit.
So with 2 outs and a runner on at first, Steve Stanisic will bat. 2-0 Scranton. Wilkes-Barre leading in the 3rd inning. Both their runs coming in the 2nd. Jimmy Jones trying to win his 6th game with the Clippers. Jones also had a couple wins with the Yankees this year in his 7 games with New York.
It's just hard to look down at the fans, Terry, and here on August 7th, see some of them wrapped in blankets.
And rightfully so. It's cool out, and with that breeze, it's even making the cool weather feel a little bit colder. That wind chill, we'll have to find out what the wind chill is here on August the 7th.
They're talking about record low temperatures this week.
1-0 pitch. That one misses for ball 2. It's 2 balls and no strikes.
Hard not to think football. Of course, you'll be at the State Fair on Saturday to talk some football with Ohio State coach John Cooper, as well as with Ohio State basketball coach Randy Ayers. That special coaches forum coming your way once again from the State Fair. What time is that? 2 to 4?
I believe it's 2 to 4. Did that last year and had a real good time. A lot of people came into our pavilion to say hello and quiz the coaches. 2-0 delivery. That one is in there for a called strike, and it's now 2 balls and 1 strike on Steve Stanisic.
Of course, we'll have Browns football coming up this weekend again. They'll have exhibition game number 2.
There goes the runner. 2-1 delivery. It misses. The throw to second, and it hits the runner sliding in. It caught Greg Legg, ironically, on his leg, as he is now seated on the second base bag. So Legg really legged that one out. There's no doubt about that. And he has a stolen base. Hasn't picked up too many this year.
That's his 3rd. It's the 2nd in this ball game, though, for Scranton Wilkes-Barre. You don't see too many ball clubs run on Brian Dorsett. Scranton Wilkes-Barre as a team now with 85 stolen bases. The Clippers with 83.
3-1 delivery. That's a called strike on the outside corner, so the count full 3-2. Well, if you're the manager, Bill Dancy of the Scranton club, here in the final 3 weeks or so the regular season, you might as well let it all hang out. They have nothing to lose. This club has been a below 500 team just about the whole season. They're 14 under 500 and 14 and a half games out of first place in their division. 3-2 pitch. That one makes ball 4. It's low and outside. So Jimmy Jones issues his first walk, and Mark Ryle, who doubled his first time up in this ball game, will bat. Ryle, a guy who's been a hot hitter for the Red Barons lately.
Scranton Wilkes-Barre really got buried early this year, and that was in part because they played so much of their schedule on the road in the early going. They were 10 games under after the month of April. They've never really recovered.
Here's a pitch that's grounded foul, and the count, no balls and 1 strike. It's Red Barons Club. They have a dismal road record this year. They have won only 20 of 65 road games. 25 under 500 on the road, 11 over 500 at home. No balls and 1 strike to count. Here comes the pitch. That's on the outside corner, a called strike, so it's 0-2 on Mark Ryle.
I see on the other day in the majors, Terry, you talk about home field advantages. The Giants this year, 36-15 at Candlestick Park. They're below 500 on the road, but Candlestick Park has become almost an impossible place for the visiting teams to come in and win at.
0-2 delivery. That one's low and outside. It's now 1 ball, 2 strikes.
The Giant players actually now say they like playing at Candlestick. Remember a few years back when players said they wouldn't be traded to San Francisco because they did not want to play at the Stick.
1 ball and 2 strikes. That pitch didn't miss by much. A little bit inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. I believe they got plans underway now for a new stadium in that Bay Area. They're going to move out of Candlestick Park. Be a few years down the road. 2-2 pitch, lined into left field, and this is going to drive in a run. Just getting to the ball is Marcus Lawton. 1 run will score, and they'll have runners at second and third as Ryle doubles for the 2nd time in this ball game. And now it's a 3-0 Scranton Wilkes-Barre lead. And once again, it's a 2-out run, which hurts Clippers pitching.
First baseman, Jim Adducci.
Well, it's the 2nd run in this ball game that has come with 2 outs to give Scranton Wilkes-Barre a 3-0 lead. And Marcus Lawton saved Jimmy Jones a run, at least momentarily. He did a nice job of cutting that ball off before it rolled all the way to the fence, and he had to stop Steve Stanisiak at third with that play.
Here's Jim Adducci at the plate, fouling the first one off. It ricocheted off one of the sky boxes, and then Pham made a nice catch in the first row down that left field side. No balls and 1 strike to count on Adducci. Runners at second and third. The pitch, that one's low and inside. The count even. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. 3 runs, 5 hits for Scranton Wilkes-Barre. The Clippers, no runs, 1 hit. We're in the 3rd inning. And Jimmy Jones has been in trouble each of the last 2 innings. He set them down in order in the first, but since then they have been putting on a lot of base runners. The pitch, trying to hold up on that one, is the batter Adducci, and on the appeal, the third base umpire Rich Reeker says he went around. 6 of the last 11 Scranton Wilkes-Barre batters have reached base safely. Ball and 2 strikes on Adducci. He has an RBI on a ground out tonight. The 1-2 pitch got him as Jones took something off that pitch. He struck him out. That'll end the inning. It's the 2nd strikeout for Jimmy Jones, but Scranton Wilkes-Barre comes up with a run. They did it on 2 hits, no errors, a walk, and they leave 2 runners on base. Bottom of the 3rd we go. It's 3-0. Red Barons leading, and you're enjoying Clippers baseball on WBNS Radio and your local cable operator. Tim Becker will lead it off for the Clippers as we move to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Becker, since joining the club, batting .250 with no homers and 2 runs batted in. Becker had a 2-run single in yesterday's ball game against Kent Merker of the Richmond Braves. Becker is a switch hitter, and this will be his first time batting at Cooper Stadium. Ready is Maddox, and the pitch. That's a called strike. Big count, 0-1. It's Mike Maddox. His younger brother, Greg, is with the Chicago Cubs, an 18-game winner a year ago for the Chicago Cubs. That pitch misses for a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike to count even. Becker began the '89 season at Double-A Albany. The pitch, and he lines a ball into right center field, but it's hanging up, and right near the warning line, Mark Ryle puts it away in deep right center field. Becker gave that one a pretty good ride out there. But it's the first out here in the 3rd inning, and Scott Earl will bat. Earl comes into the game batting .216, a homer and 20 runs batted in. Scott Earl has only 2 hits in his last 14 times up, and tonight he gets to start at second base. Mark Wazinger gets the night off, available as a pinch hitter. Here comes the pitch, and that one misses low. The count, 1 ball, no strikes. Of course, we've talked about the Clippers' problems of late, winning ball games. Only 4 wins in the last 14 games. The club here in the month of August, 2-7. And the incident yesterday after the 16-4 loss in Richmond, Deion Sanders involved in a scuffle with some fans at the Diamond in Richmond. And then today, Darryl Miller and Marcus Lawton coming to the ballpark. They were involved in a minor car accident. An accident. In fact, the Scranton Wilkes-Barre Red Barons team bus was leaving the hotel from North Columbus, and they passed Marcus and Darryl on the freeway. Noticed it was a couple of the Clippers players, and Bill Dancy, their manager, notified Bucky Dent, "Hey, Bucky, you probably have a couple guys getting to the ballpark a little bit late tonight. We saw them in a wreck on the way in."
It's been that kind of a stretch for the Clippers and manager Bucky Dent. Well, one thing about managing in the Yankees organization, it seems like you get yourself prepared for just about anything, because with the Yankees, just about anything can happen, especially with player call-ups, trades, and whatnot. There was a story in one of the newspapers, Terry, that the Yankees front office had to talk George Steinbrenner out of trading Kevin Moss, Kevin Mamahat, and Bernie Williams to the Chicago White Sox for Harold Baines. So just never ends.
2-2 pitch. Ball that's popped over on the right side. Barrett, the second baseman, makes the grab in foul territory just across the line down that right side for the second out. Earl retired, top of the order, and Deion Sanders the batter. Deion with a single and a stolen base his first time up. Interesting the past week or so to see what's been happening with the New York Yankees, the front office and manager Dallas Green getting into verbal warfare with owner George Steinbrenner, and that's been taking place now for a good week, and it happens on just about a daily basis these days. It seems that they're conversing through the newspaper, each reading the other's quotes and responding the following day. Here's the 0-1 pitch on Deion, a swing and a miss. It's 0-2. And the San Francisco Giants signed Bob Knepper over the weekend. They released Goose Gossage. Someone asked Dallas Green if the Yankees would be interested in it, signing him. As Sanders swings and misses, he goes down on 3 pitches, and we'll continue talking about the Yankees when we return in the top of the 4th inning. Here in the Clippers' 3rd, no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left. Maddox has now set down 9 straight batters and has 5 strikeouts in 3 innings. We get ready to move to the 4th inning. It's 3-0 in favor of the Red Barons, and you're enjoying Clippers baseball on WBNS Radio and your local cable operator. for Scranton Wilkes-Barre. We get ready to move to the top of the fourth inning. Keith Miller, Joe Redfield, and Tom Nieto, the bottom third of the order, to face right-hander Jimmy Jones. He's ready. His first pitch, and it's hit foul in the air, out of play on the left side. The count, no balls and 1 strike. Talking about the Yankees and if there might be any interest on the part of the Yanks in re-signing Goose Gossage. Jones set. Here comes the 1-strike delivery. It's a fastball that's inside. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. When the reporters quizzed Yankees manager Dallas Green about that, he said, well, if we got good scouting reports on Gossage, we might consider it, but we don't have any scouts on the road. So how do you know how he's been throwing? Here's a bunt try by Keith Miller, and he fouls it off on that first base side. 1 ball, 2 strikes. There was a lot of talk a few weeks ago that George Steinbrenner was cutting back. Yankees attendance is down, and he took some of his scouts off the road to cut back on expenses. Yankees players had to make a bus trip. Here's a pitch that swung on and missed, a 1-2 off-speed pitch, and Miller is out on strikes for the 2nd time in the ballgame. So Jimmy Jones has had his number. That's his 3rd strikeout overall, and it brings to the plate Joe Redfield. George Steinbrenner has been very critical of late of some of Dallas Green's managerial moves. He's also been making a lot of comments about the current Yankees coaching staff. Pitch on its way. That's on the outside corner. It's 0-1. And Dallas Green has not been one to just take that criticism lightly. He has been coming back with his own statements, knocking George Steinbrenner, implying that the reason the Yankees have had problems the last few years stems from Steinbrenner's meddling into the Yankees' state of affairs, that he doesn't let his baseball people run the baseball show. One ball, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Didn't miss by much, a little bit low on Joe Redfield. The count even, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And there's 2 ways to look at that, Terry. One, Dallas Green sees the writing on the wall, and he knows he's not back next year, so he'll get in some parting shots.
It's a good fastball, swung on and missed. And Jones has back-to-back strikeouts here in the 4th inning. He seems to have settled down. Jimmy has struck out the last 3 overall. And it brings to the plate the 9-hole hitter and catcher Tom Nieto.
Or another way to look at it, and that is the New York Mets have been stealing all the headlines with the trades that they have swung lately for Frank Viola. And George Steinbrenner is a guy that knows the value of publicity, and he doesn't mind firing some shots at his manager to steal some of the thunder in the papers.
This one is fouled off on the right side. It's going to get back to the seats and out of play, and it's no balls and 1 strike on Nieto. Funny thing about it is you can look back over the years, and about this time every year you're talking about the same thing. Steinbrenner and his manager with the verbal warfare. Here's the pitch. It's outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Joan of Arc would have a tough time managing under George Steinbrenner.
Here's the 1-1 delivery. Swing and a miss on a nasty slider. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes.
And the amazing thing too, Terry, the Yankees are still in it. They're only 6 games out. All it takes is somebody in the East to get hot for about a 2-week stretch to start making some kind of a move and claim that top spot and maybe pull away.
2 balls, 2 strikes. You got to wonder about their chemistry, though. They have so many guys coming and going. It's almost as if the players don't know who their teammates are. I saw Dave Righetti was annoyed by just that fact, saying that it seems like they're cleaning house. They get Walt Terrell from the Padres. He hasn't won a game for the Yankees. Meantime, Don Schulze, who was part of that deal, has won 2 starts for San Diego. 3-2 pitch. And it's fouled back behind the plate. A rising fastball that Nieto had tipped off his bat.
Well, and it seems like George Steinbrenner, and you can look at the decade of the 80s, and it certainly bears it out, all of the trades that they have made and giving up so much good young talent. Steinbrenner is in that New York mold, instant gratification. And it's, if you don't win today, you almost panic and make a move and suffer tomorrow.
Ball grounded to second, fielded by Scott Earl. The throw to first easily gets the slow-running Tom Nieto, and the inning is over on the 4-3 ground out. The Red Barons go down in order for the second time tonight against Jimmy Jones. No runs or hits, no errors, and nobody left on. We move to the bottom of the fourth inning. The Clippers will send up Marcus Lawton, Oscar Azucar, and Brian Dorsett. It's 3-0 Scranton Wilkes-Barre leading, and you're enjoying Clippers baseball on WBNS Radio and your local cable operator. Here in the bottom of the fourth inning, Marcus Lawton will lead it off for the Clippers. Mike Maddox has been very tough here against the order the first time through. Very first batter in the ball game, Deion Sanders picked up a single, and since then, Maddox has retired 9 in a row, striking out 5 of the 9. And Marcus Lawton will try and get it going for the Clippers, who trail this ball game 3-0 as we enter the bottom of the fourth inning. Lawton hitting .252. Marcus stayed pretty hot on that recent road trip despite the Clippers' problems, going 2-5 in those 7 ball games. Lawton hit safely in 6 of those 7 games. He takes a strike. The count 0-1. A swing and a miss. No balls and 2 strikes. Infield backed up, outfield playing Lawton around to pull, and he's out looking on a breaking ball on the outside corner. He struck him out. That is the second time Lawton has gone down on strikes. Strikeout number 6 for Mike Maddox. And Oscar Azucar, the Clippers' designated hitter, will bat. Maddox coming into the ball game with 50 strikeouts in 76 2/3 innings. Good control, walking only 18. Here's the pitch. Azucar takes that one for a ball, and the count 1 ball, no strikes. Oscar brings a 4-game hitting streak into the action. 1-0 delivery. That's high and outside, and the count 2 balls, no strikes. Maddox was with the Phillies earlier this season. In fact, he began the '89 campaign at Philadelphia. Got off to a 1-2 start in 15 games, 4 as a starter. Had an earned run average of over 5, and they sent him down to Scranton Wilkes-Barre, and he's been with the Red Barons ever since. 2 balls, 1 strike. The pitch. That one's chopped foul back behind the plate. Count even, it's 2-2. Toledo and Richmond are now in the 10th inning in game 1 of their doubleheader. It's still 1-1. And we see where Oklahoma City has taken a 3-1 lead over Tidewater in the 5th inning. 2-2 pitch. Ball that's snubbed on the third base side. A fair ball. Azucar didn't run it out for some reason, and the throw by Nieto gets it. Boy, Oscar made a cardinal sin right there. He just stopped dead in his tracks and was watching the baseball, and boy, Bucky Dent just has a glare on his eyes over in that third base coaching box. He can't believe it.
The catcher, Brian Dorsett.
2-3 the scoring on that one.
Well, that's just inexcusable. No other way to put it. I mean, you're taught that in the Little League.
Here's Brian Dorsett at the plate, and he takes the pitch outside. It's 1 ball, no strikes. It wasn't as if Azekar was dogging it. It was just that he drew a blank. He just froze. Here's the pitch. It's inside. 2 balls, no strikes. Well, I'll tell you what, this club right now is snake bitten. It has not been a pleasant month of August, and we're only a week into the month. Here's ball 3. It's 3-0.
Well, what it's going to take, it seems like, is somebody to get hot and carry this club.
Well, there you saw the replay of that ball that Azekar hit if you're viewing tonight. 3-1 delivery. That one is grounded foul right over the Scranton Wilkes-Barre dugout, and the count full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Kenny Rowe was checking back before the ball game tonight, the Clippers pitching coach, at how the Clippers had fared in the month of August this year. Of course, we mentioned the club right now with a record of 2-7 in August, as Dorsett chops one on the third base side. It's a fair ball fielded by Redfield, and the throw to first is in time. Dorsett retired, and that's 12 in a row set down by Mike Maddox. We'll tell you about the Clippers' dilemma in the month of August over the last few years when we return. Here in the bottom of the 4th, no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. We get ready to move to the 5th inning. It is 3-0, Scranton Wilkes-Barre leading, and you're enjoying Clippers baseball on WBNS Radio and your local cable operator. We move to inning number 5 here at Cooper Stadium. It is 3-0 Scranton Wilkes-Barre. This is Terry Smith along with Tom Hamilton. We're glad to be with you on this Monday evening, wherever you're listening or viewing. This is one of our Monday night cable simulcasts. If you have coaxial cable, we're on channel 36 tonight. All-American Cablevision, channel 10. Telemedia Cable, channel 10. And the ball game being televised on Warner Cable, channel 1. Jimmy Jones said, here comes his first pitch in the 5th, and it's there for a strike on Tommy Barrett. He is leading off an inning for the 3rd time tonight. Barrett is flied out to left and to center. 0-1 pitch. Missed low and outside. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Mentioning the Clippers' woes in the month of August in the last 3 years, 87, 88, and here August of 89. As the ball is chopped on an easy hop to the second baseman, Scott Earl. Throw gets Tommy Barrett, who always runs hard up the first base side. 1 gone on the ground out. Greg Legg, the hitter. In the month of August over the last 3 seasons, and that includes this year, the Clippers have won 24 and lost 46. So the club winning only 24 of 70 games in August. Now, a lot of that could be attributed to the fact the Yankees make a lot of call-ups in August, as at times they have been known to panic, push the button, and bring people up. But that is not a statistic that has the coaching staff here in Columbus very excited. And of course, this is the 3rd year for this staff. Bucky Dent began as manager of the Clippers in '87, now in his 3rd year. 1 ball and 1 strike to count on Greg Legg. And that pitch is a little bit low. It's 2 balls, 1 strike. Jones has retired the last 5 in order. Here's one sharply hit on the left side by the diving Steve Kiefer. This is extra bases down the left field side. Lawton will pick it up behind the warning line, and stopping at second with his 9th double of the year is Greg Legg. That's the 3rd double for the Red Barons in tonight's ball game. Half of their 6 hits have been doubles. Eric Bullock, the left fielder, will bat. Eric has hit the ball twice to Steve Kiefer, once on the ground, once in the air. Yankees opening up a series against the Indians tonight at Yankee Stadium, and it's 1-0 Yanks over the Indians. That game is now in the 4th inning. Chris Catteray, the scheduled starter in that one for New York, and Scott Bales for the Tribe. There's a swing and a miss on a changeup. 1-1, the count even. Steve Stanisic, the designated hitter, cleanup batter, who's been on safely both times up. He waits on deck. Jones sent the 1-1 pitch, and that one missed outside. It's 2 balls, 1 strike. From the stretch, the Clippers right-hander Jimmy Jones. Here's the pitch. That's in there on the inside part of the plate. The count even, it's 2-2. Jones 2-2 delivery. Bounce foul over the Clippers dugout. Ricochets off one of the seats and then caroms into right field. Understand tonight the Clippers pitcher Mark Leiter and his wife Allison celebrating a wedding anniversary. I believe it's their 6th anniversary. Ball grounded to short, off the glove of Becker, recovers, throws, and gets Bullock at first base, and that is the 2nd out. On the play, leg moves to 3rd. He's there with 2 outs, and it brings up Steve Stanisic. Stanisic has singled, scored Scranton Wilkes-Barre's first run, and he has drawn a walk. Although the Red Barons have not been a big success on the field this season, they certainly have been a huge success at the turnstiles. This franchise leading the IL in attendance. Here's the throw to the mound that went off the glove of Jones. Backing it up for the Clippers was the shortstop Becker, and then his throw to the plate is in time to get Legg, who tried to score. Boy, what an odd play that was. The throw by Dorsett to Jimmy Jones. Just a lob toss back to the mound was a little bit high. It was off the glove of Jones. Ball got behind him. Becker had to pick it up and fire to the plate, and the throw gets Legg, and it will end the inning. So a very unusual ending to the Scranton Wilkes-Barre 5th. And Steve Stanisic will be their leadoff man when they step up in the 6th inning. For the Red Barons, no runs, 1 hit. In the inning, no errors, and nobody left on. We move to the bottom of the 5th as we go there. It's 3-0 Red Barons leading, and you're enjoying Clippers baseball on WBNS Radio and your local cable operator. At the plate for the Clippers, and taking a 1-0 pitch for ball 2 is Dave Griffin, who leads things off in the bottom of the 5th. And here he swings and misses that pitch. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. Griffin was called out on strikes his first time up. Mike Maddox comes into this 5th inning having retired the last 12 batters in a row. He's ready, and a 2-1 delivery. That one misses low. It's now 3-1. We mentioned at the very top tonight, Maddox coming into this ball game, in 7 of his last 12 starts, he had limited the opposition to 1 or 2 runs. So he has been pitching well of late. 5-5 record, an ERA of 3.87. Here's one that's chopped foul right in front of home plate. The count 3 balls and 2 strikes on Dave Griffin. Bucky Dent coaching at third base, coaching at First base for the Clippers, Champ Summers. On the mound for the Red Barons, number 20, Mike Maddox, 27-year-old right-hander. Maddox at one time an Ohio ball player. Here's the ball that's bounced off the plate, and the throw by Nieto. It is dropped over there at first base by Adducci, and safe at first is Griffin. He doesn't even realize it. Oh, I thought the first base umpire Terry Kraft said that Griffin was safe. I guess not.
The third baseman, Steve Kiefer.
Yes, they say that Adducci dropped that ball after he was getting ready to throw it around the horn. So he is out after all, Dave Griffin. If you're keeping score, that play goes 2-3 at first base. No balls and one strike to count on Steve Kiefer, who flied out to center field his first time up. The pitch, there's a swing and a miss. No balls and 2 strikes. Mike Maddox was born in Dayton, Ohio. There you see the replay of that play at first base, and boy, that looked a little questionable after taking a second look at it. Adducci might have gotten away with a gift from the first base umpire Terry Kraft. Here's a slow chopper on the left side. The third baseman Redfield throws, and it's late and safe at first with an infield hit of Steve Kiefer. Kiefer got down the line quickly and beat that one out. And that is only the second hit for the Clippers, and the first one since the first inning of this ball game. John Fischel will step to the plate. Fischel in a 1-for-20 hitting slump. Fish got off to a good start in August. He was hot at the beginning of the last homestand, but really cooled off near the end of the homestand and remained cold on the road trip through Virginia. First pitch on Fischel, sharply hit on the left side, diving stop by Redfield, throws to second in time for the force out on Kiefer, and Redfield just took a base hit away from Fischel on a fine diving stab going to his left. Excellent play by the third baseman. A fielder's choice, the out at second on Kiefer, goes 5-4. Tim Becker will bat. He hit the ball sharply his first time up. It lined out to the right fielder Mark Ryle in fairly deep right center. Checking scores in the AAA Alliance. Toledo and Richmond in game 1 of their doubleheader. They go to the 11th inning in game 1. It's 1-1. Richmond got a run in the very first inning of that ball game, and they haven't scored since. Pitch on Becker. He takes a strike on the outside corner, 0-1. Tidewater trailing Oklahoma City 3-1 in the 5th. Syracuse jumping all over Nashville 11-0 in the 5th inning. Pawtucket leads Rochester 4-3 in the 6th. And the pitch, a ball just out of the reach of Barrett and through into right field. Becker has a hit. Runners at first and second with 2 outs for the Clippers. Well, Becker's hit the ball sharply both times up to the right side, and now Scott Earl, the Clippers' second baseman, will bat. Other scores in the AAA Alliance: Indianapolis 4, Louisville 1. That's in the 6th. Iowa got 3 runs in the first inning at home against Denver. It's 3-0 Cubs leading the Zephyrs in the 2nd. And Buffalo up on Omaha 4-2 with that ball game in the 6th. In the majors, American League, the Yankees up on Cleveland now 4-0. That's in the 6th inning. A couple finals from earlier today. Toronto beat Texas 2-1. First game of the doubleheader between Milwaukee and Detroit went to the Tigers 5-3. The second ball game underway. Milwaukee failed to score in the first. Tigers now batting. Here's Earl swinging and missing an off-speed pitch. No balls, 1 strike. Other scores in the American League: Baltimore leading Minnesota 2-1 in the 5th. Boston and Kansas City, no score in the 2nd. In the National League, the Reds will play later on out west at San Francisco. Phillies up on the Mets 1-0 in the 5th. Cards lead the Pirates 4-0 in the 5th. Montreal won. The Cubs no score in the 3rd inning. And the other games later on in the National League. Here's Earl checking on that 0-1 pitch, and they say held up on it. They count even. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Clippers batting in the 5th inning, trailing 3-0. The tying run is at the plate with Fischel, the runner, at second, Becker on at first, and 2 outs. And Maddox lucky in a way. All 4 batters in this inning for the Clippers could have gotten on base safely. There could be no outs and a run in already in this inning. The questionable call over there at first base on the ball Griffin hit, and then that ball that Fischel hit on the left side, it was a fine diving stop on it by Redfield to get the forced out on Kiefer at second and rob John Fischel of a hit. 2 outs, 2 on. The 2-1 pitch. Ball on 1 hop to second, fielded by Barrett. His throw to first in time, and the inning ends on a ground out. That's it for the Clippers in the 5th. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, 2 left. 6th inning we go, 3-0. Scranton Wilkes-Barre leading. And you're enjoying Clippers baseball on WBNS Radio and your local cable operator. We move to the 6th inning, and the Clippers will make a change defensively, and you got to think that Steve Kiefer, running out that infield hit in the bottom of the 5th inning, might have re-aggravated that ankle injury of his. And Kiefer, who had gone out to the field to his third base position, was summoned back to the dugout by manager Bucky Dent, and Mark Wasinger will take over for the Clippers at third base and will bat out of the number 6 slot.
Leading off the 6th inning for the Red Barons.
That's all the Clippers need is for Kiefer to go down to an injury. He's a guy the club really counting on in the final 3 weeks of the regular season. So Mark Wasinger now taking over at third base. For the Red Barons, here in the top of the 6th inning, they'll send up Stanisic, Ryle, and Aducci. Stanisic was batting when Legg was thrown out at the plate, trying to score on that throw back to the pitcher. Here's the pitch. That one is in there for a called strike. It's 0-1. We'll be back with you tomorrow night on the radio side on WBNS Radio, starting at 7:05 with the Bucky Dent Show. The world-famous chicken in town. Here's a liner down the left field side. It's a fair ball, and it looks like extra bases. Headed for second will be Stanisic. He'll coast into second base with his 21st double of the season. And that is the 4th double in the ball game now, picked up by the Red Barons.
Mark Ryle.
Hit number 7 surrendered by Jimmy Jones, and Mark Ryle the batter, and he has 2 doubles and 2 times up and 1 RBI.
And the way Maddox looks right now, if you're Jimmy Jones, you simply cannot fall any further behind. Clippers down 3-0 here in the 6th. Columbus mustering just 3 base hits thus far.
Pitch on its way. That one's fouled back behind the plate. It's no balls, 1 strike. Maddox pitching shutout baseball through 5 innings against the Clippers. This Scranton Wilkes-Barre team, on the whole, they rank last in the IL in team pitching. They're the only team in the International League with a team ERA of over 4, and it's substantially over 4. The pitch popped up on the left side, foul ground. Lawton coming over. What's the ball boy doing? You got to be kidding me.
And then he didn't make the catch.
Yeah, but he's got to stay in his seat there.
I know.
Hey, have a clue. Unbelievable. Marcus Lawton didn't know what to do. I think he was in shock. That ball could have been caught.
And he's making his last appearance as the ball boy tonight down the left field line. He just got a little caught up in the activity. Oh, man, when it rains, it pours.
I'll tell you what. 2 strikes on the batter, Mark Ryle. And that pitch misses, and it's 1-2.
Mark Ryle better go down there and thank him personally after the ball game.
Well, for our television viewers, we might have a replay of that fiasco down the left side. That must have been a kid they brought in from Scranton, I guess.
His last name is Ryle.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. He got him on high heat, swung on him, missed. He struck him out. Well, that was a little poetic justice right there. Jimmy Jones was strikeout number 5, and
The first baseman,
Jim Adducci gets ready to bat. Here's the replay of that ball that was hit foul. What is that kid doing? Jeez.
Oh, man, you have to see that, folks, to appreciate it. For those of you listening on radio.
When does school start?
Oh.
Jim Adduci at the plate. Here's the pitch. This one's fouled off on the left side and out of play, and the count, no balls and 1 strike. I got a feeling he's not going to budge from that seat the rest of the night. I mean, it's going to be like he is plastered to that baby.
Oh, he's wearing a batting helmet that's about 5 sizes too big to begin with.
Here's the 0-1 pitch. That one misses inside, and the count 1 ball, 1 strike.
You imagine the surprise when he looks around and sees all those Clippers surrounding him?
That's when it must have dawned on him that he should have just stayed where he was.
The players in the Scranton bullpen gave him a big round of applause.
1 ball, 2 strikes, the count on Adduci. Runner at second base, 3-0. Scranton Wilkes-Barre on top. We're in the 6th inning. 1 out, 2-strike pitch. Fouled back behind home. And the count holding at 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Well, his first term paper will be a dandy when the teacher says, "How did you spend your summer?"
Right. Your summer vacation. Jimmy Jones with the 1-2 pitch. Slider just missed. Very close pitch. 2-2 the count. The right-hander ready. 2-2 delivery. Fouled off, back to the seats on the left side, and a scramble for that souvenir baseball. Young man coming away with it with a blue sweatshirt on. Got that souvenir baseball. Adduci hanging in with 2 strikes. Here's the pitch, and that fastball didn't miss by much. And Brian Dorsett might have said something to the home plate umpire, Angel Hernandez. We've had some controversy with Hernandez behind the plate calling balls and strikes on several occasions this season. And now time requested by Adduci as he steps out of the batter's box. Left-handed hitting Jim Adduci. And now Jimmy Jones stepping off the rubber as he couldn't decide on the sign from catcher Brian Dorsett. They couldn't agree on it. Everyone's set now. And just when Jones was ready to come in fact he did, Adduci calls time and the pitch is waved off, and Jimmy Jones a little bit disgusted as he walked away from the mound. Brian Dorsett will walk the baseball back to his pitcher. Both bullpens are quiet. Scranton Wilkes-Barre 3 runs, 7 hits. The Clippers no runs, 3 hits. And Maddox, who is pitching the shutout for the Red Barons, Mike Maddox has not pitched a shutout this season. Clippers still have a number of innings to try and get something on the board. Here's a 3-2 breaking ball, swung on and missed, struck him out. Ducci out of there on strikes. Bucky Dent's headed out to the mound. And we'll see what Bucky has on his mind here, because the next batter stepping up, Keith Miller, has been a strikeout victim both times up, so the Clippers have done a good job pitching against Miller tonight.
Well, and Bucky may be saying, do you want to face the switch hitting Keith Miller, who is swinging from the left side, or do you want to put him on with first base open and go after the right-handed hitting Joe Redfield, who's on deck? And again, it's this 2-out situation that has killed the Clippers here again tonight, as it has in recent days. 2 of the 3 runs scored tonight by Scranton Wilkes-Barre have come with 2 men out.
Waiting at the mound has wrapped up. Darrell Miller back. Brian Dorsett back behind the plate. And it looks like the Clippers will pitch to Keith Miller. Ready is Jones. Here comes the pitch. Slider outside corner, called strike. 0-1 the count. Infield backed up, the outfield straight away. 2 outs, a runner at second. Jones set the 1-strike pitch. And did he go around on that one? Dorsett asked for the appeal, and the third base umpire, Rich Rieker, says that Miller was holding up, so it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Mike Maddox, the Scranton Wilkes-Barre pitcher, has tossed only 2 shutouts in his pro career. 1-1 delivery. It's a fastball that missed high, and the count 2 balls, 1 strike. Getting started off with the Stanisic double, and then back-to-back strikeouts. 2 balls and 1 strike. Here comes the pitch. It's a fastball high, and the count 3-1. And now the Clippers will intentionally walk Keith Miller with the count 3-1, so they weren't going to give him anything to swing at. That's what Bucky had gone out to the mound to say to Jimmy Jones before they ever matched up against Keith Miller. He'll get the free pass. That's the 2nd walk issued by Jimmy Jones in this ball game, and it brings to the plate Joe Redfield. Redfield has an RBI single. He has also struck out. 2 runners on base, 2 outs. The pitch. That one missed a little bit high and outside. It's 1-0. Jones ready. Checks the lead runner. The pitch. Low and outside. It's 2 balls, no strikes. Clippers had some trouble scoring runs on the recent road trip. In fact, the Clippers in that 4-game Tidewater series scored a total of 5 runs in those 4 ball games. And here tonight in the opener of the homestand, club has not scored. That pitch is in there. The 2-0 delivery is a called strike. It's now 2-1 on Joe Redfield. He's the 5th batter up in the 6th inning, and Scranton leading it 3-0.
And the time is 9:17. This timely reminder brought to you by Doctors Hospital, your special family hospital where there really is a difference.
2-1 pitch. Outside and low. 3 balls and 1 strike. Redfield, a fellow who at one time was in the California Angels organization. He was a teammate of Brian Dorsett's last year. Darrell Miller, also a teammate of Redfield a year ago. And the pitch. That one misses for ball 4, and now the bases are loaded. So moving to third is Stanisic. Up to second, Keith Miller, and Redfield is on base for the second time in the ball game. Jones has walked his third batter in this game, and it brings up Tom Nieto, who has yet to get a ball out of the infield. Nieto has bounced one back to the mound and grounded out to second. And Bucky's headed out to the mound, and that is going to be it for Jimmy Jones. Loosening up for the Clippers down the right side is Dale Mahorsic, so we will have a pitching change here. And Mahorsic hadn't been up very long, but he's a guy who has been known to throw a lot, meaning a lot of consecutive days. Bucky has used him that way since he's joined the Clippers, so it doesn't really take Dale Mahorsic a long time to get loosened up. He has that type of arm where he doesn't have to throw a whole lot to feel loose. So Jimmy Jones will get the hook here as he is taken out in favor of Dale Mahorsic.
Jimmy Jones working 5 2/3 innings, and Jones giving up 7 hits, 3 runs, all of them earned. Jones responsible for the 3 men that are on base right now. And the right-hander struck out 6 and walked 3, one of them intentionally. He is the pitcher of record. He can lose this ball game. He cannot win it. Right-hander Dale Mahorsic, who's been with the Clippers since being demoted by the Yankees, 6'3", 220 pounds. And Mahorsic will make his 5th appearance with Columbus. His record is 0-2. No saves for Mahorsic, an earned run average of 1.42. Mahorsic has worked only 6 1/3 innings, giving up 6 hits, 1 earned run, walking 3 and striking out 3. And he'll be facing another ex-Major League veteran in catcher Tom Nieto, with the bases loaded, 2 down in the 6th inning. And Scranton Wilkes-Barre trying to break this thing wide open. Red Barons now on top of the Clippers, 3-0.
Nieto, a fellow who has played for the Cardinals, Expos, Twins, and earlier this year with the Philadelphia Phillies. Right-handed hitting Tom Nieto. This is a guy who picked up a World Series ring with the Minnesota Twins. Mahorsic ready to come in. He'll work from the stretch. Bases jammed. The pitch. A swing and a miss. 0 balls and 1 strike. The Richmond Braves and Toledo Mud Hens are now in the 13th inning of Game 1 of their doubleheader. It's still 1-1. And they got started tonight at 6 o'clock, so they've played, now they're closing in on 3.5 hours, and then they'll have a 20-minute intermission when the first game finally wraps up and play another one. 1 ball, 1 strike, the pitch. That one misses low. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. Mahorsic goes basically with the sinkers and sliders.
And you've got to believe these two have faced each other the last couple of years. Mahorsic with the Yankees and Rangers, and as we mentioned, Nieto with the Minnesota Twins at that time.
And there's the pitch. It's inside, and now the count 3 balls and 1 strike. Well, this is not a guy you want to walk. Tom Nieto hitting 195, the 9-hole hitter. He's driven in only 6 runs all year. 3-1 delivery, and he walked him. Inside and low, and coming in and scoring is Steve Stanisic. Bases loaded walk to Nieto. That's the 3rd straight walk issued by Clippers pitching with 2 outs, and once again it's a 2-out run.
Tommy Barrett.
So Scranton Wilkes-Barre on top 4-0. And it begins to sound a little redundant, but this has been a problem all season long, those 2-out runs by the opposition.
When you just give them a run right there.
Here's the pitch. It's in there for a called strike on Tommy Barrett. It's 0-1. Mahorsic needs to get Barrett, or he could break this ball game wide open. They already lead it by 4. The pitch, ball grounded on the first base side. Griffin fields, he'll solo to the bag, and the inning is over. So Barrett is retired on the unassisted putout, but a run scores on only 1 hit, no errors, 3 walks, and they leave the bases loaded. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning. It's 4-0 in favor of Scranton Wilkes-Barre. You're enjoying Clippers baseball on WBNS Radio and your local cable operator.
Well, the Clippers have some major catching up to do. 4-0 the score here in the bottom of the 6th inning, and Mike Maddox has limited the Clippers on just 3 base hits, with 2 of them coming in the last inning. And really, Terry, you could look at 2 of the 3 base hits, 2 of the 3 being infield singles, and the calls could have gone the other way. They could have been outs instead of the safe calls. So Maddox could be working on a 1-hit shutout right now. He's been that tough tonight.
Well, the Clippers do have an obstacle to overcome, but it is not nearly as severe an obstacle as the club faced yesterday when the Clippers were down 14-2 after 5 innings. Eventually losing the ball game 16-4, and you look at the last 2 games now, and the Clippers have been outscored 20-4. Here's Deion Sanders to lead it off, and the first pitch on the Clippers center fielder is in there for a called strike. It's 0-1. No balls and 1 strike on Sanders. That's a pitch that evens the count. It's now 1 ball, 1 strike. There's a swing and a miss by Deion. The count 1 ball, 2 strikes. Understand that Steve Kiefer has left tonight's ball game due to a personal reason. It did not involve any re-aggravating of that ankle injury. Here's a swing and a miss by Deion Sanders, and he is out on strikes. Deion going down on strikes for the 2nd time in the ball game. And that strikeout is the 7th one for Mike Maddox, who is working on a 2-hit shutout. Make that a 3-hit shutout. The pitch, Marcus Lawton takes inside. The count 1 ball, no strikes.
Also understand, Terry, that Yankees pitcher Chris Catteray with a no-hitter through 7 innings against the Tribe.
1 ball and 1 strike to count on Marcus.
Catteray, a guy that had been acquired from Oakland in the Ricky Henderson deal as a relief pitcher, and he, like Chuck Carey, making a successful move into the rotation.
1-1 pitch. That one missed, and the count 2 balls, 1 strike. Maddox working quickly. 2-1 pitch, and Marcus fouls it off. Caught a piece of his right foot. 2-2 the count. And Chuck Carey, he has certainly been quite a story this season for the New York Yankees. The guy the Yanks signed as a minor league free agent. He was actually released by the Atlanta Braves organization at the end of last season. Two balls and 2 strikes on Marcus Lawton. The pitch, grounded foul just past the Clippers dugout. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Mentioning Chuck Carey, a guy who began his pro career in '81. Now in his 9th pro season. He had never started a game in the majors. in his 58 major league appearances prior to this year, and all of a sudden he's in the Yankees starting rotation, and right now he's one of their most effective starters, he along with Andy Hawkins. 3 balls, 2 strikes to pitch. Lawton grounds it foul on the right side. Hangs in with the count full, 3-2. Don't forget, on our radio side tonight, the wrap-up show follows Clippers baseball on WBNS Radio. We'll have some of the play-by-play highlights, also fill you in on the Major League and AAA Alliance scores. We'll have an interview with the Kroger player of the game. It all follows Clippers baseball on WBNS Radio for our radio listeners. 3-2 pitch. Ball lifted high and deep into right field. This ball's out by the wall. Out of here. Home run, Marcus Lawton. This is 4th of the season. The Clippers do get on the scoreboard. A 1-out solo homer by Marcus. It's now a 4-1 Scranton Wilkes-Barre lead.
That is also the 4th home run given up by Mike Maddox. And simply made a mistake, and Lawton jumped on it, yanking it down the right field line to finally get the Clippers on the board. The Clippers now with 4 hits in this game, a couple of infield singles, and their first extra base hit. Maybe that will awake this slumbering offense.
So the shutout bid is ruined, and here's an easy chopper right to second, fielded by Barrett. He throws out Azokar, and that's his second out.
Maybe not.
Next batter up will be Brian Dorsett. Well, Maddox had thrown only 2 shutouts in his pro baseball career. A career which began in '82. Here's the pitch. That one misses on Brian Dorsett, who leads the IL in home runs with 14. 1 ball and no strikes on the Clippers catcher. The pitch. A swing and a miss. Count even 1-1. The news today for injured Clippers outfielder Kevin Moss not good. It appears that knee injury will sideline him for the remainder of the season. Moss had gone down to Fort Lauderdale to rehab. That pitch is in there for a strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Moss still leading the league in hitting in the IL at .320. Hal Morris still second in the league at .319, and of course Morris now with the Yankees.
Here's one that's fouled off on the right side, out of play. It's still a ball and 2 strikes on Brian Dorsett.
Been a bittersweet season for Kevin Moss. His first year on the AAA level to be hitting .320, very impressive, but he's been on the sidelines twice because of knee injuries and once due to the chicken pox.
Pitch on its way, and that one is fouled off on the left side, and it's still 1 ball, 2 strikes. Now, if Kevin does not return to action this season, he's going to fall short of the minimum number of plate appearances to qualify for the hitting title. With this 89 season going 146 games, to qualify for the batting title, a player would need roughly 400 plate appearances, and if Moss doesn't play anymore this year, he's not going to be able to come up with that number of plate appearances. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. A swing and a miss. Down on strikes goes Brian Dorsett, and Mike Maddox continues to rack up strikeouts. That's his 8th in 6 innings of work. For the Clippers here in the 6th, 1 run on 1 hit. The homer by Marcus Lawton. No errors and nobody left on. We head to the 7th as we go there. It's 4-1. Scranton Wilkes-Barre leading. And you're enjoying Clippers baseball on WBNS Radio and your local cable operator.
And welcome back to Cooper Stadium, where the sixth inning totals read like this. Scranton Wilkes-Barre 4 runs on 7 hits, no errors. And Scranton has stranded 6. The Clippers with a run on 4 hits, no errors. And the Clippers have left 3 men on base. Here in the 7th inning, it's Dale Mahorsic, still on in relief of starter Jimmy Jones. He got the final out in that 6th inning, but not before he issued a bases-loaded walk that forced in the game's 4th run. He'll work out of the stretch, and the first man to face him, the number 2 hitter, shortstop Greg Legg, who takes the first pitch out of the strike zone for ball 1. Legg has a single, a double. After that initial ground out, he is 2 for 3. He takes ball 2. Legg hitting .245 with a couple of homers and 26 runs batted in. Mahorsic, a quick worker, delivers low. It's now 3-0. Mahorsic faced 2 men in the last inning, and as we mentioned, walked the first Nieto, and that got Barrett to ground out to end the 6th. 3-0 pitch, and he delivers a strike right down the middle to Greg Legg. 3 balls and 1 strike. Legg is a guy that's pitched in a couple of games this year as he takes the 3-1 pitch on the inside corner. A couple of mop-up rolls when Scranton needed somebody to finish up, working 2 innings in 2 different games, and not very effective, giving up 6 runs. Payoff pitch hit right back to the mound, speared by Mahorsic, and he battles back from being behind 3-0 to get the leadoff man here in the 7th.
The left fielder, Eric Bullock.
Here's Eric Bullock, the left fielder. He is 0 for 3, a couple of groundouts, and he popped to third, yet to get the ball out of the infield. Left-handed hitting Eric Bullock. And tonight's catcher, Tom Nieto, coming over to the Phillies organization as the first pitch nails the outside corner for strike 1. Here you're going to see the replay that Mahorsic reached down and took what could have been a base hit away from Greg Legg. And Bullock cuts and misses at that next offering. It's 0-2. But Eric Bullock and Tom Nieto were acquired from Minnesota, along with Tommy Herr, for Shane Raleigh, who's had a tough year with the Twins. The 0-2 pitch misses outside. It's 1-2.
In fact, some rumors the Twins shopping Shane Raleigh around. There might be some interest by the Boston Red Sox.
1-2 pitch to Bullock, and he taps it foul to the left of the plate. That's been a pretty good deal for Philadelphia, as Tommy Herr's had a decent season.
Understand that Brooke Jacoby led off the top of the 8th inning at Yankee Stadium for the Indians with a single, and that has broken up Chris Catteray's bid for a no-hitter. Yankees still leading that ball game 5-0 in the top of the 8th.
Mahorsic misses with a fastball high and away, and the count is even to Eric Bullock. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. The Red Barons batting in the 7th with a 3-run lead. The 2-2 pitch just misses low and outside. The count is full.
The Red Barons have some action down in their bullpen. Danny Clay, a hard-throwing right-hander, warming up down that left side.
Payoff pitch is fouled back on the netting, and the count remains 3 balls and 2 strikes to Eric Bullock, hitting .286 with a homer, 32 runs batted in. Played briefly with Philadelphia this season, getting into 4 ball games, not accounting for any base hits. Mahorsic goes to the rosin bag. Now he's ready, and the payoff pitch again is fouled straight back. And we'll do it again with Steve Stanisic on deck for Scranton Wilkes-Barre, which has never trailed in this game, getting 2 in the 2nd, 1 in the 3rd, 1 in the 6th. The Clippers' only run came last inning on that 6th inning solo home run by Marcus Lawton. 4-1 Scranton Wilkes-Barre on top. Payoff pitch, and the sinker tapped right back to Mahorsic, and he has a couple of assists. Here in inning number 7, that'll bring up the DH and the cleanup hitter, Steve Stanisic.
The designated hitter, Steve Stanisic.
Stanisic has been on base all 3 times tonight. Singled and scored, walked, doubled and scored. hitting .288 with 6 home runs, 38 runs batted in. Right-hander against right-hander. And the first pitch is upstairs for ball 1. Dale Mahorsik in relief of starter Jimmy Jones. Mike Maddox has gone the distance for the Red Barons. 1-0 pitch is a called strike and the count is even. Brian Dorsett with a sign, the target on the outside corner, and the pitch is right there, and it's driven to right field the opposite way, and it's an extra base hit. As it bounces up against the wall, Stanisic headed for second, and he'll make it easily with a 2-out double the opposite.
Boy, Steve Stanisic has had a big night. 2 doubles, a single, a walk, 2 runs scored. Clippers haven't been able to get out Stanisic in 4 times up.
That is 8 hits in this ball game for Scranton Wilkes-Barre. 5 of them have been 2-base hits. Here's a guy that has a couple of doubles. Left-handed hitting Mark Ryle, a pair of doubles and a strikeout. He's also driven in a run and scored a run. First pitch, and he fouls it out of play the opposite way down the left field line. It's 0-1 to the left-handed hitting right fielder. A 2-out double, Steve Stanisic in scoring position here in the 7th, with Scranton Wilkes-Barre trying to add to their 3-run advantage. Mark Ryle hitting .265, but in the last 25 games he's been hot as he takes that 0-1 pitch and he fouls it off the railing in front of his own dugout on the third base side. Last 25 ball games, Mark Ryle hitting at a .329 clip. And he has stayed hot tonight, going 2 for 3 with a couple of 2-base hits. He's in the hole right now, 0-2. Clippers bullpen remains quiet. The 2-strike pitch. Sinker is grounded by the mound, charged at second by Earl, throws on the run, and he gets Mark Ryle to end the top of the 7th inning. 7th inning stretch coming up at Cooper Stadium for the Red Barons. No runs, a hit, no errors, 1 man left on. Still 4-1, Scranton Wilkes-Barre on top of the Clippers on WBNS and your local cable operator. For the Clippers in the 7th inning, Dave Griffin, Mark Wasinger, and John Fischel to go against the right-hander Mike Maddox, who has gone the distance. In the first 6 innings, Mike Maddox holding the Clippers to a run on 4 hits, that being the home run by Marcus Lawton last inning. Maddox has struck out 8 and hasn't walked anybody. And here in the bottom of the 7th inning, Dave Griffin, 0 for 2, will step in. Tonight's attendance, a small one, 2,505, 2505 at Cooper Stadium on this chilly Monday evening. First pitch to Griffin is a strike on the outside corner at the knees. Griffin's average now 273. 12 home runs, which is 3rd best in the IL. Griffin has banged in 54. 1-strike pitch to the big first baseman. He goes after a breaking ball and cuts and misses, 0-2. Dave Griffin has gone, if you count this ball game, 16 games without a home run. The 0-2 pitch to Griffin. There's a strike, a fastball right at the knees, and Dave Griffin is called out on strikes, and he knew it. Griffin strikes out on 3 pitches to open the 7th inning. That is 9 strikeouts in the ball game for Mike Maddox, a guy that came in here with 50 strikeouts in 76+ innings of work. Mark Wasinger batting for the first time tonight, and the first pitch to Wasinger is low for ball 1. He came on to play in 3rd in the 6th inning defensively for Steve Kiefer, who had to leave this ball game due to a personal matter at home. And Wasinger batting for the first time. The pitch tapped to third, fielded by Redfield, spins and throws across the diamond as he had that ball play him, actually, and he had to back up on it and then had to make a quick throw to get Wasinger as one third baseman retires the other for out number 2 here in the 7th inning. That'll bring up John Fischel, 0 for 2 in this ball game. Clippers only hits: an infield single by Sanders, an infield base hit by Steve Kiefer, Tim Becker with a single, and Marcus Lawton with a home run. First pitch to Fischel, driven to fairly deep right field. Ryle going back, still going back, leaps to the wall. He can't come down with it. Home run for John Fischel, who drives it over the wall in right center field. It's the second home run in this ball game for the Clippers, and it now makes it 4-2 in favor of Scranton Wilkes-Barre. So John Fischel going the opposite way, driving it over the wall in right center field to the right of the 365 sign. For John Fischel, it is his 6th home run of the year. He now has 26 RBIs on the season. So both Clippers runs coming on solo home runs. Last inning, Marcus Lawton, and here in this inning, the homer by John Fischel with 2 down. 4-2, Scranton Wilkes-Barre on top. Is switch hitting Tim Becker cuts and misses at the first pitch for strike 1. Becker 1 for 2 with a single. Tom Nieto with the signs to right-hander Mike Maddox. And the 27-year-old veteran delivers to the plate, and Becker fouls it out of play down the left field line. It's 0-2 to the Clippers shortstop. Becker was hitting .247 at Albany and is hitting .250 with the Clippers. Maddox has him in the hole, 0-2. The 6'2 right-hander delivers, and the breaking ball is swung on and missed, strike 3. Maddox has his 10th strikeout of the ball game. But the Clippers pick up another run on the home run by John Fischel. We've completed 7 innings at Cooper Stadium. Scranton Wilkes-Barre 4, Columbus 2. You're listening to Clippers baseball on AM 1460 WBNS and your local cable operator. Here we go to the 8th inning with it 4-2. Red Barons on top of the Clippers. Jim Aducci, Keith Miller, and Joe Redfield to face relief pitcher Dale Mahorsic, who again works from the stretch even with the bases unoccupied, and delivers low to Aducci for ball 1. Aducci 0 for 3 in this ball game, but he did pick up an RBI his first time up. Takes a pitch on the outside corner to even it at a ball and a strike. Aducci tapped back to the mound his first time up, but that drove in the game's first run. He's been a strikeout victim the other 2 times. The 1-1 pitch is taken low and outside. It's 2-1 to the former Milwaukee Brewer, Jim Aducci, who's also played some ball in Japan. Aducci hitting .254 with the Red Barons. 2-1 pitch, swings and misses at a good fastball from Mahorsic, and the count is even. Right-hander Bob Davidson loosening up in the Clippers bullpen. Mahorsic has been on since the 6th inning in relief of starter Jim Jones, who gave up the only 4 runs in the ball game by Scranton Wilkes-Barre. 2-2 pitch is sliced foul down the left field line. The count remains the same. Jim Aducci has hit 6 home runs this year. 2 of them have been against the Clippers. He did quite well with Philadelphia earlier this season in a 13-game stint. 2-2 pitch, and he golfs this one foul out of play on the left side. Aducci in 13 games with the Phillies hit .368. The time right now is 10 minutes in front of 10. This time check brought to you by Doctors Hospital, your special family hospital, where there really is a difference. The 2-2 pitch, and again Aducci spoils it by tapping it foul the opposite way, and he breaks his bat. So a new piece of lumber for Jim Aducci before we resume play. In the top of the 8th inning, Aducci the leadoff man with the Red Barons on top of the Clippers by a score of 4-2. Scranton Wilkes-Barre, the AAA farm club of the Philadelphia Phillies, their first year at Scranton in that brand new ballpark after the club moved from Old Orchard Beach in Maine. Fans have really flocked to see Scranton Wilkes-Barre play their ball games in Scranton this year. And they've watched a very mediocre ball club at best. The 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Mohorsek with that sinking fastball strikes out Aducci, his first strikeout tonight. Leadoff man retired here in the 8th. That brings up Keith Miller. The switch-hitting center fielder has struck out twice and been walked intentionally. Miller's average at .264 leads the club in homers with 9 and RBIs with 46. Gives you an idea how badly Scranton has struggled offensively. Miller, the team leader in those categories, takes ball 1 from Mohorsek. Scranton Wilkes-Barre 14 games under 500 coming into this one, even though they have won 7 of their last 10. The 1-0 pitch in tight, 2-0. In fact, since the All-Star break, the Red Barons have played good baseball, winning 18 and losing 10. They have been a brutal team on the road, but not tonight. 2-0 pitch, a swing and a miss at a sinker. 2-1 to Keith Miller, 1 out, nobody on. Red Barons up 4-2 in the 8th. Coming into this ball game, Scranton 25 games under 500 on the road, 20 and 45. At home, they're 11 over. 2-1 pitch, Miller grounds it to first. Easy play for Dave Griffin, second out in the 8th inning. That'll bring up the third baseman, Joe Redfield, who is 1 for 2 with a run-scoring single.
Third baseman, Joe Redfield.
Bob Davidson continues to throw in the Clippers bullpen. Jimmy Jones, the pitcher of record, going 5 2/3 innings, giving up 4 runs. Mike Maddox has gone the distance for Scranton Wilkes-Barre. First pitch to Redfield, and Mohorsek dropping down from the side delivers low for ball 1. Mohorsek is a great story in that he played his college baseball at Cleveland State University. 1-0 pitch, and it's fouled back as he got it in on the hands of Redfield. He and 3 other Cleveland State University teammates then saw an advertisement in the Sporting News about a team in Victoria, which is up by Vancouver in British Columbia. It was a team that was an independent team in the rookie league, asking for players to come and try out as Mohorsek misses inside 2-1. So Mohorsek and his 3 college buddies used up their life savings to get a plane ticket. Went up there, made the ball club, and that's how he got into professional baseball. Was released after that year, was tried out by Toronto and signed, was released after a year, went to Florida, tried out with the Pirates and was signed, and as they say, the rest is history. He's pitched in the majors with the Yankees as well as the Texas Rangers. Guy that just wouldn't give up the dream of being a big league pitcher. Redfield takes the strike. The count is even now, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Mohorsek's delivery in tight, and it's fouled over the Clippers dugout on the first base side. In fact, when I asked Dale if it was tough coming back to the minors at the age of 33 after being in the majors the last 4 years, he said, no, not really. He said, I always heard if you had to play in AAA ball, this was the best place to play, meaning Columbus. And he said, hey, I'm a guy that never thought I'd get to the majors to begin with, so I just love playing the game. 2-2 pitch is grounded to second. Scott Earl has it, and Dale Mohorsek has the 1-2-3 inning. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Clippers still 2 runs shy, trailing at 4-2 on WBNS and your local cable operator. With Terry Smith, this is Tom Hamilton at Cooper Stadium, and those of you at the ballpark and also those of you joining us on your local cable outlet, Glad you could be with us on this Monday night. The news isn't so good, but the Clippers still have 2 more at-bats. Bottom of the 8th inning, Clippers on the short end of a 4-2 count. It'll be the number 9 hitter, Scott Earl, then the top of the order, Deion Sanders and Marcus Lawton. Right-hander Mike Maddox has gone the distance. He has 1 complete game this season, and he has a 2-run lead to work with here in the 8th. Scott Earl 0 for 2, takes a breaking ball low for ball 1. Clippers second baseman hitting only .216 now with 1 home run and 20 runs batted in. 4 runs, 8 hits for Scranton. 2 runs, 5 hits for Columbus. Right-hander against right-hander, and Maddox delivers a fastball strike at the letters. We're going to get activity now in the Scranton Wilkes-Barre bullpen. Danny Clay had been warming up earlier, but he has since sat down. And we're going to get some right-hander, left-hander action now in the bullpen. 1-1 pitch to Scott Earl, and he takes it in tight. It's 2 balls and a strike. Brad Moore is the right-hander that is loosening up in the Red Barons bullpen, and the left-hander is Steve Schartz. Here's the 2-1 pitch, rifled down the right field line. This is an extra base hit, possibly off the glove of Aducci into the right field corner. Mark Ryle is up with it, and stopping at second with a 2-base hit is Scott Earl. Earl going the opposite way with a double off the glove of first baseman Jim Aducci, who didn't get much of that baseball as he was diving to his left trying to come up with it. And a 2-base hit for Scott Earl to lead off the 8th inning. And that'll bring the tying run to the plate in Deion Sanders, who has an infield hit and has struck out his last 2 times up. Deion Sanders steps in from the left side, and again he gets a very mixed greeting from the fans here. Some cheering and a number of them also booing as Sanders tries to get the Clippers a run closer here with a base hit. The pitch is hit in the air to left center field. This could be trouble. Miller racing over, and he can't come up with it. This one will go all the way to the wall and will score a run. Sanders is headed for third. Sanders is being waved around. Here comes the throw to the plate. Sanders slides. No, he does not. He rams into Tom Nieto and now steps on the plate with an inside the park home run. Deion Sanders ties it up with an inside the park homer, his second here at Cooper Stadium, as he barreled into Tom Nieto, deciding not to slide at the very last instant. And Deion Sanders has put the Clippers back to even at 4. Boy, Bucky Dent never hesitated, waving Deion Sanders around, and looked like we would have a very close play at the plate, but the relay throw was high, and Nieto didn't have a chance to come down with it. And Deion Sanders, again, showing that world-class speed. We're back to even as here is Marcus Lawton in the first pitch. Outside for ball 1. That is the 3rd home run tonight for the Clippers off Mike Maddox. Deion Sanders with his 5th of the year, and Sanders now with 15 RBIs as Lawton takes a pitch in the dirt. It's 2-0. That was a slicing line drive off the bat of Sanders over the head of center fielder Keith Miller as it was slicing away toward left center. And once it got by Miller and banged up against the wall, Deion Sanders was thinking inside the park all the way. And Bucky Dent never hesitated, coaching at third, to send him home. And you got to believe that Maddox is a little shaken up now as he falls behind 2-0. The pitch. There's a called strike on the inside corner. 2-1. Clippers and Scranton all tied up now at 4. The 2-1 pitch. And that misses a little bit outside as Lawton bluffed a bunt. It's 3-1. Here's that inside the park home run now. And you see Miller having some problems coming up with the ball. And look at Bucky Dent waving Sanders around. The throw And Sanders rams into Nieto. At the very last instant, Sanders decided not to slide, and he used some of those football skills of his and lowered the shoulder and rammed into Nieto. Here's the payoff pitch to Lawton. Breaking ball, tapped on the first base side. Fair ball. Aducci picks it up, steps on the bag. 1 out. That'll bring up Oscar Azacar, the DH, who is 0 for 3. Another left-handed hitter.
Designated hitter, Oscar Azacar.
Well, Steve Schartz, the left-hander, is ready, as is Brad Moore in the bullpen if there is to be a move here at any point. Bill Dancy, the manager, standing on the dugout step. Azacar 0 for 3, doesn't have a homer as a Clipper, and he takes that first pitch low and away for ball 1. Azacar, as a Clipper, hitting .258, was hitting .281 in Albany and did have 4 home runs with Albany. The 1-0 pitch. Azacar taps it foul behind the plate, and the count is even at the ball and a strike. Brian Dorsett, the Clippers' cleanup hitter, is due next. Scott Earl led off the inning with a double. And then Deion Sanders with the inside the park home run, his second as a Clipper here at Cooper Stadium. The 1-1 pitch, breaking ball and trying to bunt and missing is Azacar. He's now in the hole, 1-2. Checking the Major League scoreboard right now. Phillies lead the Mets 1-0 after 8 innings. St. Louis on top of Pittsburgh 4-0, bottom of the 9th inning at Three Rivers Stadium. Cubs on top of Montreal 3-1 in the 5th. 1-2 pitch. Azacar hits it on the ground, first base side, but foul. So the Cubs with a 2-run lead on Montreal, and that's the battle for first place. Those two clubs tied going into tonight's action. Greg Maddux, the younger brother of Mike Maddux, who is on the mound right now for Scranton Wilkes-Barre. It's Greg Maddux pitching for the Cubs tonight, and he has a 3-1 lead. He too has given up a home run. The only run Montreal has scored, so the Maddux brothers have given up 4 home runs between them. Later, Houston at San Diego, Cincinnati at San Francisco, Atlanta at L.A. 1-2 pitch is way high and outside to Azacar. The count is even. Some finals in the American League. Toronto beat Texas 2-1. In the first of a doubleheader, Detroit beat Milwaukee 5-3. 2-2 pitch. Azacar rips it back up the middle into center field. It's a base hit for Oscar Azacar. A 1-out single, and we are going to have a move to the mound by manager Bill Dancy, who's already signaled to the bullpen for the right-hander, and that would be Bradley Moore. Milwaukee and Detroit in Game 2 are tied at 2. That's in the 5th. The Yankees hammering Cleveland now, and it's the final. New York beat Cleveland 9-0. Chris Cadaret had a no-hitter after 7 before it was broken up in the 8th by Brooke Jacoby. Baltimore and Minnesota tied at 2 after 7. Boston leads Kansas City 4-0 in the 5th. Oakland at Seattle later tonight. Boy, if you can believe this, Toledo and Richmond are still playing Game 1 of a doubleheader. And it's still tied at 1. They are in the 16th inning. They have already played more innings than you normally would play in a minor league doubleheader. And they still have another ball game to go. And that game is 4 hours old. Wow. The other club we're watching closely, Tidewater, trails Oklahoma City 4-1. They're in the 9th inning. Richmond, of course, 2 games in front of the Clippers. Tidewater in second place, a half game behind Richmond, a game and a half in front of Columbus. So Brad Moore has come on, the right-hander. Will face Brian Dorsett after he completes his warm-up tosses. And what a fine job Mike Maddux did tonight. But one bad pitch to Deion Sanders cost him a 2-run lead here in the 8th inning when he gave up the inside the park homer. Maddux worked 7 1/3 innings, giving up 8 base hits. He allowed 4 runs, all of them earned, and is responsible for the man at first. Maddux in 7+ innings struck out 10 and didn't walk anybody, but he gave up 3 home runs tonight. Solo shots by Lawton and Fischel. And then the inside the park home run this inning by Deion Sanders. This game is all tied up at 4. We're in the bottom of the 8th inning. Clippers have a runner at first with 1 down for Brian Dorsett. 0 for 3 tonight. Right-hander against right-hander as Moore's breaking ball is fouled straight back for strike 1. Brad Moore with a record of 6-7 and 5 saves in 48 appearances. Moore's earned run average coming in 3.52. Brad Moore, 6'1", 185 pounds, now 25 years old. Throw over to first, and Azekar is back safely. Between Albany and Columbus, Azekar with 12 stolen bases in 18 attempts. He represents the lead run at first with 1 down in the 8th. Moore comes set at the belt. Throws over to first, and again Azekar back standing. Warming up now in the Clippers bullpen, right-hander Dickie Knowles. The Red Barons bullpen is quiet. Azekar taking his lead at first, again draws the throw and again is back safely. The Clippers have never led in this ball game and trailed at one point 4-0, but they've tied it up here in the 8th. The pitch, a little bit low to Dorsett. It's a ball and a strike to the Clippers catcher. Brian Dorsett leads the IL in home runs with 14. Dorsett has knocked in 50. And his batting average now at the .275 mark. Looking for his first hit in tonight's game. And he tries to check his swing and takes it for a strike, says Angel Hernandez. And Dorsett can't believe the call as he walks out of the batter's box. He and Hernandez have had some disagreements on the other end when Dorsett has been catching tonight, and he didn't like some of the calls going against Clipper pitching. And now he vehemently disagreed with that call by Angel Hernandez. He steps back in the hole, a ball and 2 strikes. Throw to first, and again Azekar back standing. Dave Griffin is on deck. Clippers got a double by Scott Earl to open the 8th inning. Deion Sanders with a 2-run home run and inside the park job. Lawton grounded out, and then Azekar followed with a single to end the night for Mike Maddox. 1-2 pitch is up and in, and the count is even to Dorsett at 2-2. Bucky Dent flashing the signs, managing the Clippers from the third base coaching box. Hitting instructor Champ Summers coaching at first. Moore okays the sign from Nieto. Throws to first, Azekar back standing, and now a balk has been called by home plate umpire Angel Hernandez, and that will put the lead run at second. Well, Angel Hernandez, doesn't seem like we can see him without calling a balk in whatever series he's appeared in here at Cooper Stadium. He has called a number of balks, and he was the one that called that one. The home plate umpire puts the lead run and potential winning run in scoring position with 1 out. And the 2-2 pitch to Brian Dorsett. Here it comes, and he fouls it back as Moore came in on the hands. Azekar's at second with 1 out. Dorsett at the plate with a count of 2-2. Clippers were down 4-0 before getting a run in the 6th, 1 in the 7th, and 2 here in the 8th. They were hammered last night 16-4, but they've battled back tonight to tie it up in the 8th inning. The 2-2 pitch. Fastball a little bit low, and it's 3 balls and 2 strikes to the Clippers catcher Brian Dorsett. The former California Angel and one-time Cleveland Indian. Dorsett played in 5 games with the Tribe back in '87. Played in 7 games last year with the California Angels. Moore taking a little extra time. With first base open, he'll be very careful. The pitch to Dorsett. This ball hammered in the alley in left center field. This will give the Clippers the lead. It's going all the way to the fence. Azekar will score easily. Brian Dorsett will stop at second. And Bradley Moore, we said, would be very careful with Dorsett. Well, he should have been. A 3-2 pitch right down the middle, and Dorsett banged it up the alley in left center. A run-scoring double, and the Clippers have taken the lead 5-4.
The first baseman, Dave Griffin.
A big comeback here for Columbus. 3 runs across here in the 8th inning. And still a man at second base with 1 down as Azekar has scored. And Brian Dorsett has his 51st RBI of the campaign. And that balk does hurt Brad Moore, but Azekar most likely would have scored from first base on that 2-base hit. Dave Griffin now stepping to the plate, will be walked intentionally to set up the double play possibility. And Brad Moore would rather face Mark Wazinger than Dave Griffin. There's ball 3. Griffin is 0 for 3 tonight, striking out twice. But he's now receiving a free pass, and that is the first walk issued tonight by Red Barons pitching. It's an intentional walk. Activity now again in the Red Barons bullpen, and once again it's the left-hander Steve Schartz. So Dave Griffin is at first, Brian Dorsett is at second, and with 1 out here is Mark Wazinger, 0 for 1 in the ballgame. The pitch. Wazinger fouls it out of play as he was jammed on that pitch by Brad Moore. The book has been closed on Mike Maddox, as Maddox is not the pitcher of record in this ballgame. Well, let's check that. He is, as he gives up 5 runs, all of them earned. The 1-strike pitch to Wazinger, breaking ball into Beauty, takes it for strike 2. So Maddox worked 7 1/3 innings, giving up 8 hits, 5 runs, all of them earned, striking out 10. The 0-2 pitch to Wazinger, tried to check his swing but went around too far. Brad Moore has his first strikeout as he disposes of Mark Wazinger on 3 pitches. Second out here in the 8th inning, and the 8th man to bat, John Fischel. Fischel 1 for 3. He had a home run back in the 7th inning. It didn't look like that big a deal at the time as he homered to right center field. That made it a 4-2 ball game, but the Clippers scoring 3 times here in the 8th now lead it 5-4. 2 outs, 2 on. And they could use some insurance runs going into the 9th inning. The pitch from Moore, swing and a miss, strike 1. Dickie Knowles continues to loosen in the Clippers bullpen. And now Jimmy Jones has been erased from this decision. The pitcher of record right now for Columbus is Dale Mahorsic. He can pick up a win here. 1-strike pitch in tight, and the count is even to John Fischel. Fischel now with 6 home runs, 26 runs batted in. That home run by John Fischel broke a 1 for 21 drought. The 1-1 pitch to Fischel. Breaking ball, it's looped into left center field. Coming on, Keith Miller. He races in and makes the catch for the 3rd out here in the 8th inning. But a big inning for Columbus as they take the lead, scoring 3 times. The Clippers with 4 hits in the inning. And Columbus strands a pair. We go to the 9th inning. Columbus 3 outs away from a big come-from-behind victory. It's 5-4 Columbus on AM 1460 WBNS and your local cable operator. Well, we go to the 9th inning, and what a comeback for Columbus. It certainly didn't look possible a few innings ago the way Mike Maddox was pitching. But the Clippers, on the strength of the home run bat tonight, 3 homers in this ball game, including an inside the park job by Deion Sanders. And the Clippers have a 5-4 lead and are now 3 outs away from what could prove to be a very huge victory before this season is said and done. This may be the ball game when we look back in September that turned it around for the Clippers. Dickie Knowles will try to save it for Dale Mahorsic. He'll face the bottom of the order, and to take you through the 9th here again is Terry Smith.
All right, thanks, Tom. And it'll be the 9-hole hitter, Tom Nieto, to step up against Dickie Knowles, who leads the Clippers with 12 saves. He's in here in the 9th inning, a save opportunity, and Knowles has recorded a save in each of his last 4 appearances. Dickie Knowles tied for 2nd in the IL with 12 saves this season. Nieto is 0 for 2 with an RBI walk. Walked with the bases loaded to bring in a run back in the top of the 6th his last time up. And here he bunts one foul behind the plate. It's no balls and 1 strike. This appearance for Dickie Knowles is 36th, which is tops on the Clippers, a record of 5-2, the 12 saves, an ERA of 3.89. Knowles has made one starting appearance this year, everything else coming in relief. Here comes the 0-1 delivery. That's in there for a called strike, and the count 0-2. On that inside the park home run by Deion Sanders in the bottom of the 8th inning, which tied the ball game up, we're told that it took Deion 14.5 seconds to round the bases. 14.5 seconds to go from home plate back to home. Here's a swing and a miss on an 0-2 pitch. He struck him out. Nieto out of there. 2 more outs to go here in the 9th inning. That strikeout is the 8th recorded by Clippers pitching tonight. Tidewater, the second place Tides, they have already lost tonight at home to Oklahoma City 4-1. So the Clippers will gain ground on Tidewater. And Richmond and Toledo are now in the 17th inning of game 1 of their doubleheader at the Diamond, and that ball game is 1-1. And Richmond scored their only run in the first inning. They haven't scored since. They're now in the 17th. Here's the pitch that misses, and the count 1 ball, no strikes on Tommy Barrett. Clippers 5. Oklahoma. The Scranton Wilkes-Barre Red Barons 4. Here's the pitch. Ball grounded on the right side. Should be an easy out. Scott Earl has it. The throw in time. That is the second out here in the 9th inning. So Dickie Knowles has come in and gotten 2 quick outs, and now it brings up Greg Legg. For our television viewers, you see number 5, Deion Sanders, who had that big inside the park home run in the bottom of the 8th inning, his 5th homer of the year with the Clippers, his 2nd inside the park home run. And we'd have to do some checking, but he very well might be the only player in Clippers history to have 2 inside the park home runs in a single season. That would take some research. Might have to get team historian Joe Santry to work on that one for us. 1-0 delivery. Ball that's bounced on the left side. Charging is Wasinger. Has it, throws in time, and the ball game is over. That's it for the Red Barons. They go down in a hurry here in the 9th inning, and boy, what a nice victory tonight by the Clippers, pulling out this one after the club trailed by a score of 4-0, going to the bottom of the 6th inning here for the Red Barons in the top of the 9th. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on. The final score tonight, the Clippers over Scranton Wilkes-Barre 5-4. Be back with the winning totals at a wrap after these messages. Back at Cooper Stadium, this is Terry Smith, where tonight the Clippers have pulled a victory from the jaws of defeat. A nice comeback win tonight by the Clippers, who certainly have had their problems of late, but a great way to get this homestand underway on an unseasonably cool evening here at Cooper Stadium. The weather definitely on the chilly side tonight here at Cooper Stadium. When we got underway, it was about 65 degrees here at the ballpark, and it might have cooled off a little bit more. We like to say goodbye to our television viewers very shortly, but we want to tell you a little bit more about this ball game before we get ready to start the wrap-up show on the radio side. The Clippers coming back to score 5 runs in their final 3 innings of work. And they did it against a guy by the name of Mike Maddox this evening, who had already had a victory against the Clippers earlier this year and who was pitching some very impressive baseball in the first 5 innings tonight. In fact, he had a stretch where he had retired 13 batters in order, but the Clippers send Maddox to the clubhouse tonight, a loser for the 6th time this season. Clippers with a total of 5 runs tonight on 9 hits, commit no errors, and leave a total of 5 runners on base. For Scranton Wilkes-Barre, 4 runs, 8 hits, no errors, and they leave 7 runners on. Dale Mahorsic gets the victory in relief, his first as a Clipper. He's 1-2. Dickie Knowles comes in and works the top of the 9th inning and sets down 3 batters in a hurry to record his club-high 13th save, and now Dickie in sole possession of second place in the International League in saves with those 13. And the losing pitcher, as I mentioned, Mike Maddox, whose record dips to 5-6. The time of the ball game, 2 hours and 45 minutes, and the attendance 2,505 on a chilly night here at Cooper Stadium. Now, with the victory, the Clippers, with a record of 63-56, 7 games over the 500 mark, and Scranton Wilkes-Barre goes to 51-66 as the Red Barons are now 15 games under 500. The Clippers had been struggling of late here at home, where the Clippers here at Cooper Stadium had won only 2 of the last 8 home ball games, but the club comes away with a victory tonight, and it's a come-from-behind win here at the stadium by the final score of 5-4. Now, for our television viewers this evening, we'd like to remind you that 1 week from tonight, next Monday night, August the 14th, it'll be our final cable simulcast on WBNS Radio and your local cable operator. So jot that one down on your calendar. 1 week from tonight, next Monday night, August the 14th, game time at 7:30 between the Clippers and the Richmond Braves, and we'll see on the TV side for that ball game next Monday evening. For our cable viewers tonight, we bid you a very farewell from Cooper Stadium this evening. For our radio listeners, we invite you to stay tuned. The wrap-up show will be coming up shortly here on WBNS Radio.
Dear Dusty Lens Cap.
Columbus Clippers Baseball has been brought to you by Columbia